All right, guys. We are awake. We are here. It is time for non-farm payroll data. Non-farm payroll data. We're going to get a timer up. We're also going to do a poll. Non-farm payroll data is expected at 185,000, 185K. Non-farm payroll data is expected at 185K, along with unemployment. Also releasing this morning at 8:30. Unemployment expected at 3.8%. Does the market want more or less jobs? Is the real question. And we're a little bit early. Coffee tastes good, bro. It's the first coffee I've had this morning, so I'm gonna wake up a little bit. What's up, Fox? All right. Payroll data, NFP payroll data today, guys. It's the big day. Ooh, what a fun week for the channel, though. Oh. If you're ever curious about like what somebody's channel makes, or like, we grew by almost 1,000 subs from our FOMC stream. We made about $121. Very curious about how much somebody makes from this stuff. Like, look, we got about 50,000 views for our FOMC stream. About 8,500 watch hours. We grew by about 1,000 subscribers, and we made about $121 for it. So it's really not a bad. That only took 2 hours too, so it's making roughly $60.50 an hour is what the math would be there. And so it's really not that bad. You make more money from sponsors and affiliates and stuff like that, but it's really not that bad. Hey, what's up, Pavel? What's up, Radical? What's the time in the U.S. where you are, bro? I'm in Central Standard Time in the U.S. I'm in Texas time. So it is 5:38 in the morning, Texas time. Apple dropped earnings yesterday up to 182s. We did have Meta Meta with an absolutely crazy day, dude. Look at Meta. Meta just flying up. Nvidia flying up with it, I'm sure. AMD up with it, I'm sure. Yeah, so these are all just going obscenely higher. Amazon doing really well as well, up to almost 170. So a lot of these tech stocks just killing it today, doing great. All right, let's do a poll. We're going to get a timer up as well. This is dropping in it's about an hour and 21 minutes. Look at that. Almost got it right. Here we go. All right, so we got the timer up. Here's the SPY, man. Look at the SPY right now. That's crazy. Yo, 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 what's up, Stans? I'm in Germany here. It's just 1 o'clock in the day. Oh, man. I'm awake. I gotta drink some coffee, but I'm up. Yeah. We'll do a poll. Let's do a poll. The big poll is, does the market want more or less jobs? All right, so that's going to be our poll. Does the market want more or less jobs at 8:30? And I think it's probably less. The market has responded better to less jobs lately. And so I do not think it's more. I think it's actually less. The market, as an example, earlier in the week for jobs reports, if NFP payroll data comes in high, the market would probably drop, is what I'm thinking here. That's what happened earlier this week. That's really been pretty consistent for the last year plus. So what's the biggest you earned in a single time? I'm not sure, in all honesty. That was our largest stream. That FOMC stream was the largest stream ever. And granted, this is only calculating it for Wednesday, so it's not calculating it for the following days, where we've gotten some views the following days. You can see the channel as a whole over the last 48 hours. It's gotten 72,000 views over the last 48 hours or so. Not bad. We'll take it. Buy or sell for Nonfarm Payrolls? I really don't know. USA East Coast here. Time to drive the first kid to school and listen to BT. Hey, thanks, Stans. Yesterday was very funny for dollar buyers. Yeah, well, dollar buyers are probably going to be down. Dollar goes down when markets go up, right? So if Amazon and Apple and everything, I'm sure the Dixie is down. Here's the Dixie, and yeah, it's down. I mean, not super unexpected. This just means the market itself was probably surging up, if that makes sense, right? Because again, you get stuff like Meta yesterday, heavily weighted stock, Meta pushing markets up big, up to 460s. You're going to get the dollar dropping. That's just kind of the standard of it. You start to learn how the markets move after a while, but yeah, if Meta's flying up, the dollar's probably dropping, because what it means is the S&P 500 is probably ripping up, right? And that's exactly what happened. The SPY at 490s right now. So again, we'll see if we can make these true lifetime highs. It's only during pre-market. If these hold during market hours, they'll be considered lifetime highs in the SPY and the Q. And so yeah, that'll be fun to see what happens. We'll see if it holds. Where's Bitcoin at today? Man, I had a weird dream, dude. What was my dream? Oh, dude, I can vaguely remember it. What was it? I was in my old neighborhood in Baton Rouge with a bunch of people that I used to know. Oh, dude, it's going away. You forget your dreams after you wake up. And I remember this dream. Now it's coming back to me. But I don't remember what it was about. Something was going on. Something not good was happening. I don't know. It'll be lifetime highs, which is awesome for my 401k. Yeah, it should be awesome. Bitcoin currently at 43.5k. Bitcoin's been doing okay. The volume's a little bit lower. But Bitcoin usually runs in the afternoon, I guess, right? I'm actually red on my portfolio this morning. Mostly from Tesla. Everything else is pretty much flat. Apple down slightly too, but I'm not really worried about Apple. Apple's one of those stocks that I'm holding that I'm not really nervous about. You know? Settings. All right. I can't do much one. The hangovers from it kill me the next day. Yeah, I can't. I'm not a big drinker, bro. I've just never been a big drinker. It's kind of made it hard to meet friends as as a middle-aged person. I don't know if am I considered middle-aged? Okay, I'm not middle-aged yet, but it's kind of made it hard. It's hard to make friends with middle-aged people because a lot of them are drinking every day, all day, and like I can't, I can't relate to that. I really can't. And so what's today's solar rally to 107? I don't know. Maybe. Google on the rebound from their dump the other day. Yeah, Google up to 143.70. It's mostly just getting dragged up by tech, right? Like tech is up a lot. It's still below yesterday's highs, so it's not up that much. Meta is the crazy one. Meta at 463s, 462s, 461s. Nvidia up to 640 right now, and so that's kind of a crazy one. Nvidia up to 640. Looking at our numbers here, 58% of people think that we want less jobs. And I agree, I think we want less jobs. I think they're copying off of me. When the poll just started, everybody was voting more. And then I said what I said, and then now the poll has switched to less jobs. I think if you watch economics, you're going to understand that the market fears jobs right now to a certain extent. Maybe not. Maybe it's not backwards land anymore. And maybe good is good and bad is bad. But that's not how it's been for the last couple months, really, or the last year plus, I would say, in economics and market data. So, again, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Those earnings last night were... Yeah, I'm not judging. Keep that mentality about alcohol. Not a single person has ever told me their life is so much better because of drinking. I'll tell you what, though. It make like... And again, I can't overstate this. I'm happier than alcoholics, I promise. You know, and again, maybe that's I can't think of the word. People who drink every day are not as happy. I promise you, they're not. You know, and it's just like it's one of those things that I'm scared to get addicted to. Like I don't want to get sick if I don't drink. You know, like I don't want my happiness to be pegged around something I drink. And with that said, let me hit my coffee real quick, you know. But no, on a serious note, yeah, I don't know. I've never been that way. Like I've never been that way with alcohol. I just can't. I don't think my body handles alcohol very well, you know. And again, I'm not judging you if you do. Like, if you drink it, like, look, I'm really not judging you. Like, live your life. Like, people are different, bro. You know? I can't say they're right or wrong for it, you know? Again, what I will say is that I've had a hard time making friends. Like, I have friends, right? Like, I do have friends. Like, I've got lifelong friends that I've had for a long time. And so I don't have a problem making friends. What I'm saying is, like, an example is, like, my son gets a friend, you know? And, like... he wants me to meet his friend's parents, or like my daughter gets a friend and they want us to meet her parents, right? You go meet their parents and it's like, dude, their parents are just drinking every day, all day. Like they want to go, you know, and I just don't want to do that, man. So, and I feel bad, but no new friends. Yeah, that's right. Hey, what's up, Radical? Hey, nice, bro. Yeah. Yeah, most of my big friends are in Louisiana. I have friends, though, here, but, like, most of my friends, my, like, close friends are in Louisiana. 4 hours away. They come out here. I remember getting that now. Bad news is good. I remember saying this in chat that we would rally again. I called Amazon, ACET, Oracle, Disney, SPY, Long. Took a loss on QCOM. I relate to what you just said about drinking. Hey, cool, man. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to be too condescending or like judgmental about it. I really don't. Like, I can't judge anybody for anything. I really can't. You know. But. All right, so Meta at 460s, SPY at 492s. About meeting kids' parents, yeah, for sure, dude. That's hard. Like, I don't know how many of my sons and daughters' friends' parents that we've met, and you might hang out with them sometimes, but yeah, you just don't relate. A lot of them are older too. Like my kids go to kind of like a snooty school, and so. Most of the parents of their friends are like 50, you know, and I'm not judging you. I get along with a lot of 50-year-olds. But yeah, snooty 50-year-olds are a completely different story that are trying to go to wine parties and, you know, all that good stuff. All right, Meta 462s. Good morning, John and all. What a Meta run. Yeah, Meta, absolutely crazy run, man. Dragging the whole tech market up, really. Amazon is up. The only one that's not up is Apple. Apple dropped earnings yesterday. They are down a little bit from their earnings. They're down to 480 or 183s or so, 182s. Was at about 190 or so at the peak of their earnings release. Prior to earnings, they were at like 186. So they're really not down that much. They're down like at 1.5% or whatever that is. 1.2% or whatever that is. So they're not down that much. Stressla. Yeah, for sure, George. I think it depends. I think it depends on how old you are. Like, if you're a young person, like, I think you kind of, like, you know. I think Tesla will continue to tumble, and more so now with Meta paying divvies and doing a buyback, don't you think? I know if I was still interested in Tesla, I'd probably want to move my cash. What do you think? I mean, I disagree, but it could just be because I'm in Tesla right now and I want it to go up. I don't think that, like, I think Meta and Tesla are correlated in the fact that they're both tech stocks, right? But I don't think that they're the most correlated stocks. Like, Meta is a social media platform that has to do with AI. Tesla is like a EV car company. You know, like the margins and production and, you know, everything is just much different one to another. I would correlate Meta more with like other social media brands, you know, Snapchat or whatever. Although I do think Meta's, you know, very large, the largest public social media company. What do you expect from this non-farm payrolls? Bullish or bearish? I really don't know. I hope bullish, of course, but I think the market's also up a lot. So I think that technical nuance is going to play a factor with the numbers that drop. Like, basically, I think the market's up too much, and you know, even if payroll numbers come in low, the market still might go down just because it's up so much now. And again, it depends. Like, what these numbers show up as are going to influence whether a lot of stocks and markets hit all-time highs today. Meta at all-time highs at the open. Nvidia at all-time highs potentially at the open. A lot of stocks are. A lot of tech stocks. A lot of stocks in general. And so as long as non-farm payroll data doesn't like tank markets, they all have the chance to hit all-time highs. And so again, we'll see. But what do you think about the Dixie? It depends on what markets do. If markets go down, Dixie will go up probably, and vice versa. DWAC outperforming Tesla. Yeah, but you got to look at this. Like, here's a weekly chart, you know, and then here is a weekly chart on Tesla. You know what I mean? So, like, you got to look at the differences here. DWAC, very low flow company that's young. I don't know much about it except for it's related to one big polarized political leader. And so I think, yeah. There's the Q though. Look at the Q. Q at 426s. Tesla at 187s. Again, slap that subscribe button. Hit that like button, team. I think there's a misunderstanding on Tesla and Apple right now. The two are fighting maxed out customer bases. They don't have any new markets. Products are too expensive. I don't know. I could see that argument for Tesla. Analysts are grading Tesla as an EV car maker after Musk decided not to do an AI. So maybe we'll go as an innovative car maker. What's already been going is that Musk is doing an AI, isn't he? Twitter has their AI, Grok. Right? All right, team. So if recession hits, Tesla and Apple will be hit twice as hard. Note that the E-mini hit all-time highs again just before yesterday's close. Yeah. Tesla is also a huge data company, sure. But the data is more so based instead around like human information, like AI. It's mostly based around transportation information, if that makes sense. Like, does that make sense, right? So it's mostly based around transportation info versus like human info. I mean, it's based around humans, but in a different way. Tesla hitting that 200 EMA VWAP level. We got about 200 people here already, guys. So hit that like button here. Bump the like button up with the what are the likes at? 17. Now we're at 38 likes, guys. Come on now, we can do better. We got an hour before non-farm payroll data drops. 1 hour. On October 27th, 2022, Jim Cramer cried on live TV and apologized on being wrong regarding Meta stock. Since then, the stock is up almost 400%. I know I give Cramer a lot of hate. Not a lot of hate. I just kind of I joke about him a lot. But he was right about this. You know, this was a period of time, man. If you don't remember when Cramer cried on TV, you know, you got to look at Cramer, man. Cramer, this is a period in time where I was skeptical of Meta as well. Meta was down to $100 a share. Super vulnerable. Zuckerberg had lost billions of dollars in the metaverse. And everybody was pretty skeptical of Meta, I think, at the time, and Facebook, right? Cramer was bullish. And in hindsight, he was right. You know, he was right. But the Cramer curse joke had like started to gain notoriety over that, like throughout 2022. You know, the Cramer curse started to gain notoriety. He went from someone who was historically loved and like joked about and like, you know, praised, I guess is the better word, to somebody who pivoted to being massively trolled, massively joked about how his call-outs were, like how inverse Cramer started to pick up steam, and that really started to mess with his head back in 2022. Specifically when Meta was at its worst at $100 a share. Yeah, so he went on CNBC Market Alert and genuinely cried. You know, genuinely dropped tears, voice cracked. You know, I think he said something along the lines of, I've given blank amount of years to this or something. He, you know, you could tell, like, say what you want to say about Cramer, but the guy loves the markets like we all do. And so, you know, maybe love is a strong word. The guy is passionate about markets like we all do, like we all are. So I like Cramer, believe it or not. You think you're smart until you got to spell passionate. Whew. Yeah, Meta up. Huge percentages. Hey, what's up, Beach? All right, guys. So we got over 200 people here. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning. In fact, both Cramer ETFs have closed. Heard this on Bloomberg. Race ran hard yesterday. What is that? Ferrari, right? That's Ferrari's, like, I think it's like Ferrari's OTC stock. Is that right? Or wait, what is it? No, it's listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Yeah, the Ferrari movie is out. I haven't seen it yet. It looked good. Lewis Hamilton leaving bins for Ferrari. Interesting. Cramer saved Meta. Yeah, he might have. I think what saved Meta is not Cramer. I mean, I know that's the joke. What saved Meta is AI pivoting out of Metaverse, pushing like Zuckerberg pushed the Metaverse for years. He lost $10 billion in 2022 in the Metaverse, right? Like, that's what dropped Meta stock down to $100. Is that news came out in one of their earnings calls that he had lost about $10 billion in the Metaverse push. And so Zuckerberg pivoting away from the Metaverse is what made them regain steam and notoriety and stuff like that. Like, they ended up doing well as soon as Mark stopped pushing the Metaverse and started growing to other things. That's when Meta started to rebound. Threads. There a lot of stuff made Meta rebound. It wasn't, That was because of Lewis for sure. Good morning, everyone. Happy TGIO. Everybody, good luck. Thanks, Joseph. Missed my NASDAQ short entry by 2 ticks there. Nice, Sam. Meta's buying 700 GPUs from NVIDIA to really build an AI. Yeah. Dude went bent on a metaverse, and that was a dumb concept. Yeah, I mean, the metaverse is real. I think we're going to get there. I really do. I think in the future we're going to have that, I think he was just early. And there's not much difference between being too early and being wrong, And so I think he was right. He was just way too early. I think AI is getting really good and it's getting better and better. But I think it's going to take a long time to get people comfortable with sitting in it all day, And I think it's a generational thing as well. I think the current generation is not going to adopt it like the younger generations will. Mostly because, you got to think about what they grew up on versus what they have now. Younger generations are going to grow up using Oculus and stuff like that versus the older generations who are used to playing, Xbox and PlayStation, So there's going to be those differences for sure. But yeah. I love watching the price action play out exactly what I was expecting, but I missed the entry. Meta's buying 700 GPUs. Missed my NASDAQ short. Yeah. All right, team. Let's put up 3 charts. We'll put up 3 charts. We got the Q, Tesla. We can put like Apple up. Maybe gold. Here's the gold chart. It's at 2070s. Gold has did a pretty big bounce back. It's at 2072 right now, 2072. So gold might react to these numbers as well. We'll see if they do or not. All right. Let me see. Yeah, Beach, give me hey, send me the link. Send me the URL, Beach. Hold on. All right, guys. So, there we go. All right, so yeah, Ford is actually up a lot the last few days here too. Gold. Do you trade gold? Sometimes. Take a look at Elf beauty chart. Yeah, I know Elf has been one of those growth cosmetic companies. Had a crazy good year. Was at $62 at the beginning of the year. If we look at Elf here on the left, and you put up like a weekly chart, look at the growth of this company. This is one of those rare companies that started off as a penny stock and just killed it and just kept going. I get your point, John, that the metaverse may be a thing in the future, but what does that say about society when you'll spend money to buy land in a pretend concept and that's where your friends are? I mean, it just means that technology is growing at a fast pace, Justin, in my opinion. I think like the problem with this latest push, like the last 5-year push of the metaverse, right? I think the main issue is this. I think capitalism was too heavily pushed in the metaverse, if that makes sense. Like I think people started selling land before the metaverse was even out and before the metaverse even gained steam. I think they started speculating on land. It was like a gold rush of capitalism in the metaverse. And I think it was way, way, way too early. Like, I know a bunch of people that I know that seem like otherwise smart people, but that came to me and was like, yeah, I bought $30,000 plot of land in the metaverse. And I'm sitting there thinking when they told me this, like, what? Like, dude, why? $30,000, bro? Listen, I'm okay if you want to throw $1,000 at a plot of land or whatever it is. But 30 grand, dude? Like, a lot of these metaverses are not even established yet. They're not even out yet. You know, they're not even out yet. They're not even doing anything. Like, they don't, like, like some of them have some people in them. But, like, basically, there's so many nuances there. You got to get right. You got to get the metaverse right, the place right, the price right. Like, you know, you got to hope metaverse succeeds short term as a whole. Like, there's just a lot of variables there that have to be hit correctly in order to be right. And so and again, I'm not hating on anybody. If this is you at home, listen, I'm not judging. Maybe y'all are right. Maybe it'll pay off. I don't know. But I think they started trying to monetize it too quickly. And I think, like, if you ever watch the movie about Mark Zuckerberg, a social network, really great movie. It's honestly one of those movies that made me want to be an entrepreneur. It came out in 2010 when I was young, 14 years ago. And it's a movie about how Mark created Facebook. You know, and it kind of goes to show how you got to do it, business, what it looks like. Really good movie. But one of the overarching points of that movie, like one of the things that you see that Mark did correctly, was Mark was working with his business partner at the time. And his business partner was the CFO, the chief financial officer, right? So he's trying to bring in money, and they've got millions of users and stuff like that, but they hadn't really monetized it yet. And so Eduardo, the CFO, is like, yo, we got to monetize this. We got to put ads here. We got to do all these different things. We got to have all these different investors come through and all this different stuff. And Mark was basically against it. Mark was like, no, wait, you know, what's not cool is ads. Ads aren't cool. You know, and we need to make Facebook cool first. I think the same logic can be applied to the metaverse. You know, ads aren't cool. You got to make the metaverse cool first. And if you start to pump it with selling plots of land and nonsense too early, it's not going to be cool. It's going to be seen as a scam. And that's ultimately what happened. It was seen as a scam. People didn't like it. Meta breaking highs right now, though. With all this said, Meta breaking highs. It was just too early. Meta up to 464.30s. So Meta just broke highs again. Let's see what this does to tech. Yes, I'm real, bro. Yes, I'm real. Hello. I'm real. People were equating getting into the metaverse like being able to buy houses today at 1950s prices. Yeah, I mean, that was the craziest part. It was speculation fever is what it was. Speculation fever. And it was just too early. It was way too early. Like, again, the reason I didn't invest is because, man, I see every time I would ask anybody on this live stream or wherever, really, not even here, but anywhere, I would say, hey, what metaverse do you think is going to succeed? And they would always list a different one than the previous person. So if you got 10 different metaverses floating around out there, you don't know which one's going to succeed. I'm not going to go buy a bunch of land in one of them and then hope I got a 10% chance that one succeeds over the other ones, and then even still hope that the land appreciates. It just seemed like a bad idea, like a waste of money. It was the Wild West, unfortunately. Tesla now trying to get back up. Tesla, look at Meta, though. Wow. Meta up to 465. So let's see if there's any news here. Bristol Myers dropped earnings today. Oh, I think we had some earnings today, didn't we? Wasn't it oil earnings, right? Yeah, ExxonMobil dropped this morning. So oil dropping earnings today. ExxonMobil released. They're pretty much flat. Chevron released. Exxon posted 248. Missed revenue. EPS beat. Missed on revenue at 84.3 bill. They expected 91.8 bill. CVX reported they're gapping up a little bit. They reported 345. They expected 329. Missed on revenue as well, though, at 47.2 billion versus 51.3 billion expected. And so, yeah, two oil companies, Chevron and Exxon, did report this morning. Both of them beat EPS, missed revenue, which revenue is typically the more influential one. But yeah. That's all the big ones. We had Bristol Myers, BMY. But again, look at Meta running up today, guys. Meta breaking highs again at 465s. A lot of other tech stocks are starting to follow it up. You can see Tesla here moving up a little bit. Amazon up there. Just what a crazy day yesterday for earnings. Nvidia, guys, look at Nvidia. Nvidia up 641.80s. All right, team, we still got 40 minutes before non-farm payroll data comes out. 40 minutes. Just watched it with my son Eduardo. Got diluted and came back with the lawyers and got his shares back. 18 bill worth of a great movie. Yeah, it really is a good movie. I mean, and again, Mark Zuckerberg, don't get me wrong, like that kid is smart. All right, people could say he's whatever. I know he's got a lot of nicknames that are not the most flattering, but kid is smart, dude. Like, that guy is smart. He's about my age. That's a smart guy. Like, people can make fun of him, and I get it. Like, I really do. Billionaires get made fun of. It's kind of what you sign up for as a billionaire. But Mark is smart. He's incredibly smart. He had the foresight to understand they shouldn't pepper Facebook with ads at the beginning. His biggest issue, I would say, but I think it also helped grow Facebook to where it is, was getting involved with the Napster founder. What was the Napster founder? Sean Parker. He got involved with Sean Parker. Eduardo didn't believe in it like the other two did. Like, Sean Parker had just gotten sued and created Napster. If you don't know what Napster was, right? Pre-digital downloads in music. Napster basically was a software that allowed you to download music from your computer for free, right? So you could basically upload files for free, download files from people all across the world for free. And it was kind of a mixed bag. Like, you didn't know what you were going to get half the time. You didn't know if you were going to get good, you didn't know if you were going to get good music or whether you were going to hear somebody else's music that you didn't ask for. This is actually when Soulja Boy, if you know Soulja Boy, that's actually where he got really big, was on Napster and LimeWire and stuff. He used to, throw his music out there. But yeah, Sean Parker basically charmed Mark Zuckerberg and got equity in Facebook. Sean Parker's net worth is now almost $3 billion from that ownership stake in Facebook. Also tell the kids how a lot of us started on a 14 modem with 50K. Yeah, bro. I used to be playing. My mom would pick up the phone. Dude, I hated it, man. I get so upset. Yeah. Why would you let your son become a day trader? Why or why not? I would tell my son never to day trade ever. The only reason I would is if I let him take over my channel. Nonfarm Payroll is in 36 minutes, sir. 36 minutes. It's at 8:30 in about an hour. Oh, I'm sorry. I am wrong, guys. I am wrong here. My timer is off. Wait. Yeah, my timer is off, dude. This is in an hour and 7 minutes. I don't know why it's so off right now. Here. There we go. This is when payroll data drops. I don't know why I was so off, but I was looking at the time and being like 36 minutes, man. That looks like a little early. It feels like time kind of flew this morning. Sure enough, I was a full 40 minutes early on my timer. So my bad, team. Non-farm payrolls is a big deal. It's much bigger than unemployment. Yeah. Hey, thank you, Crazy, or whoever told me that. Reversal now. Yeah, Eduardo did. Fun fact. So Eduardo got his money from the Facebook lawsuit, right? He got his equity. What ultimately happened was that Mark Zuckerberg, and with all this said, look at Meta at 465. Mark got in really tight with Sean Parker, right? Sean Parker didn't really like Eduardo, right? For whatever reason, I think most likely what happened is that Sean Parker saw Eduardo as an obstacle to him getting equity. Like, I think Eduardo didn't like Sean and saw Sean as predatory and kind of like a bottom feeder. Like, Eduardo had the understanding in what Sean was trying to do early on, which was like he was trying to wedge himself in there in a very promising startup company of Facebook at the time, right? And so Eduardo didn't really like Sean, and Sean knew it, right? So Sean was living basically with Mark. Like, they weren't living with each other, but they were living with each other basically, right next to each other in the same city. And Eduardo was living in a completely different state at the time. And so anyway, Sean Parker chipped away at Mark and eventually got Mark to start pushing for dilution in Eduardo's company stake and equity in Facebook, which he did. Eduardo went and signed the paperwork. The famous scene in the movie is when Eduardo goes and signs the paperwork, diluting his stake in his own company by like tons of percent. He ended up, after he signed that contract, his equity was less than 1%. And it went from like 20-something% to like less than 1% in the company. Eventually, he sued Mark Zuckerberg and won, and now he's a billionaire. And once he got his money and left Facebook, he moved to a different country. And at the time, it was legal for billionaires or whomever really to take their money and leave the country and go to a different country so they don't have to pay as much taxes on it. After Eduardo did that and left, because Eduardo, I think, was Brazilian, if I remember correctly, right? He had, let me see. I think he had dual citizenship, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he was Brazilian, right? So he ended up moving. Um, Singapore. So they moved to Singapore after he got his billions, and money's going to go a lot. Singapore is actually a really very crypto friendly place, by the way. But anyway, he moved out of the U.S., avoided paying all those taxes, and then the U.S. actually created a law around it. I think it's called the Eduardo Savern law. Let me see. Yeah, so when Savern renounced, he had to pay that expiration tax going forward under existing law. He received similar treatment to other non-resident aliens. He is exempt from the U.S. capital gains tax on U.S. investments. It's called the Expatriate Act, is what it's called now. So yeah, they created a law literally around it. Anyways, the Expatriate Act. What a name. Anyways, look at the Q rip up and break highs. Q just got up to 427s. Nvidia at 642 right now, 642. So yeah, the Q all the way up to 427s. We still got an hour or so before this data drops. Advice for my son who is a software engineer with AI. He does front end and back end. Should he be worried about job security? He does use AI in his job. Yes and no. AI is so early shaped that if he's our again what he wants to again, I'm going to preface this with I have no idea what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. And with that said, we're going to throw our famous disclaimer up here. Remember, I am terrible at this stuff and I have no idea what I'm talking about. Don't sue me. Understand CFTC Rule 4.41 when we promote anything here. All right, understand this rule. Not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose. Whatever else you want to say about this. Blah, 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 blah. That's the rule. Anyways, if it was me, and again, this is just my own personal subjective opinion, I think the most important thing if you want to be a software developer right now is getting that first job, right? Getting that first job is important. It depends on whether he has a degree or whether he doesn't have a degree, whether he went to like a coding boot camp or what his plan there was. But again, get a job, get that experience first, right? I think right now you'll still be able to get coding jobs. I think in 10 years it might be different. So I think we're still early now. And if he wants to be a software engineer based around AI, I think that's a really smart move. I think AI is a massively growing sector right now. And if he becomes a software engineer using AI and working with AI, and he can include that on a resume, I think a lot of companies are hiring for that right now. Like also like prompt engineers and stuff. There's a lot of AI jobs around right now. All right, guys, Q just broke highs. Meta is up there. What is dragging the market up? It could be Nvidia. Nvidia at 642. Apple's still kind of flat here. Amazon at 170.50, 170.50 for Amazon. So Amazon's still looking pretty strong, in all honesty. Pretty strong. Did I monetize? I think I did. Let me make sure. Yes, we did. All right, good. Nvidia was selling off at the open. Sheesh. Yeah. Nvidia's up a lot though right now. Meta pulling back a little bit here. Look at the Q. I'm trying to figure out what's pushing the queue up, I think it could be Nvidia or Amazon. Look at Nvidia though. Nvidia at 640s, man. Nvidia, as long as payroll numbers don't bump this down a lot, Nvidia is going to help the market and ultimately break lifetime highs as well. What do you think about cybersecurity? 4-year degree. How's the future? I think the future there is probably fine. Cybersecurity, like penetration testing and all that different stuff, is going to be an ever-growing field. Like, you're always going to have to learn new stuff. Like, how to hack today is going to be wildly different than how you hacked in the 90s and early 2000s. And so it's just one of those fields that you're always going to have to learn. And so if you like that type of stuff, if you like learning, if you like learning new things, maybe it might be a good field. So I think that field's going to be fine. I think AI is mostly, I don't know, AI could replace those things. And I think that's kind of up in the air still, but yeah. I think AI pen testing is now getting kind of, getting some steam right now. I have a master's degree in civil engineering, but asking for nephew about cybersecurity. Yeah, tell him to look into AI pen testing. AI will influence all aspects of our lives, wherein levels may be bigger than the industrial. Yeah, potentially. You think options having to play like so many puts and meta just the excuse? This movement might be influenced by options, but it's more so just influenced by earnings. I use the 200 EMA and the volume weighted average price pretty heavily. Anyone else lagging on the live feed? No, it doesn't look like they are, but maybe. Leverage AI into cybersecurity too. Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of big ones. Hey, thanks so much, everything. Do you expect to sell off at the open? It depends on what payrolls come in at. I think we could argue that we're extended on the upside, but it really depends on what payrolls show. Gold? Yeah, we can take a look at gold. Again, Nvidia now dipping down some. There's gold at 2072. So gold is kind of flat this morning, but gold did push up. If we put up like a 10-day chart, yesterday gold had pretty good action here. So gold has had a pretty good time. Meta is really what's dragging the market up, though. Meta been breaking highs, 465, 60s. So Meta, pretty heavily weighted stock, has been helping markets. Tesla is flat on the day as well. Hey, what's up, future? Looking at today's open interest on the SPY. Show is pretty heavy call put option. Question will be if they just buy their shares as a hedge or try to push them out. Yeah, for sure. What's up, Dark? All right, team. Hey, we got an hour basically until payroll data drops. 1 hour before NFP payroll data drops. Big day. Unemployment also coming out today. Again, 3.8% is what's expected. Meta laid off 11,000 employees to save $1.4 billion a year, so it can do a $50 billion share buyback program. The one avenue of my life that I'm missing. The one avenue of my life that I'm missing is poker, bro. I want to play some big poker tournaments, dude. I just haven't had the time. I have the money. I just don't have the time. Powell also, guys, is going to be appearing this Sunday, February 4th on 60 Minutes. What time is this? Should I stream this? Fed Powell taped an interview for 60 Minutes today that's set to air on Sunday evening. Powell was asked about inflation risks in the economy, the timeline for cutting rates, and more. Should I stream this? Guys, should I stream this? I'm assuming it's going to be Sunday evening. I probably should, right? Big Papa Powell. Interesting. I wonder if I should stream it. I probably should. Never seen a Fed chair so vocal. Bernanke was pretty vocal, you know. You also have to understand we're in the age of technology now. So prior to Powell, we didn't really have as much technology and infrastructure for technology as we do now. Basically, it's a lot easier to stream nowadays, brother. So it just that's the nuance of it that you got to understand. Like, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the standard moving forward in the age of technology, where he speaks, he does a lot of stuff. E-mini bear div playing sideways for now. Yeah, we stream every morning. Yeah, I don't want to play $1 tourneys though. That's no fun for me. I could play free rolls. Listen, it's not like I've never played online. Like, I play sit and goes online a lot of the time. But I want to compete in some real live money tourneys. We are not outside the expected move on the top side. Yeah, Edward, we stream every day, bro. Nah, it wouldn't give me a strike. It would be under fair use. As long as I would make comments regarding what he was saying. Are there any earnings today after hours? No. We had Chevron and Exxon earnings. Yeah, no earnings this evening. Usually Friday evening, you don't really have much. Yeah, I'm wondering when the semi-annual monetary policy report to Congress is going to be as well. I always like covering those. So spot Bitcoin ETFs hold 3.3% of the current Bitcoin supply. European regulators are closely following a group of hedge funds with exposure to mortgage bonds and average gross leverage in excess of 2,000%, a position so larger risks impacting markets, according to Bloomberg. Freaking mortgage bonds, dude. The TNT of markets over the last 2 decades. Yeah. All right, Tesla initiated the first ever Cybertruck recall as part of a larger 2.2 million vehicle callback. Hey, look at the Meta breakdown here. Meta falling down a little bit, team. You guys ready? We got about 450 people here live. About 500 Meta average down. Hey, good luck. Predicting increase in unemployment rate, increase in job openings, but not enough labor workforce to fill it. Can you guys share your thoughts about this? I'm not a big predictor of anything, to be honest. We try to guess sometimes, but like what you got to understand is this, okay? There's a couple nuances to today's non-farm payroll release that you want to understand. The first one is that tech market is super up there, right? So yesterday we had Apple, Amazon, Meta earnings. Meta specifically has pumped up huge percentages. It's at 460s. So a lot of tech stocks are currently at all-time highs, and they're not going to be registered as all-time highs until 9:30 this morning. And so with that, tech extension on the upside is super profound right now, I think. I think it's certainly one of the nuances you want to pay attention to heading into the open, is that tech stocks are up. They're up big. And so that's something you want to watch. Another nuance of it is like Wednesday, we had the prelim payroll numbers, and I believe we came in low. Let me see. So yeah, Wednesday we had the prelim payroll numbers. It's called the ADP non-farm employment change. And we came in at 107 versus 150 expected, right? So we came in low for payrolls Wednesday. There's not always a correlation though. Like just because we came in low Wednesday does not mean we're going to come in low today, just to understand that, right? But we did come in low Wednesday. We came in at 107, and I believe the market reacted in a positive way to this non-farm employment data. Jobless claims numbers came in higher than expected yesterday. So both of the previous job readings this week have been less, have signaled less jobs. Right? It doesn't mean we're going to get a consistent thing for today with non-farm payrolls, but it's possible. The other two job reports this week have showed less jobs. Less people working, higher jobless claims, lower non-farm employment data, and then we also had the JOLTS report, didn't we? No. Yeah, we also had the JOLTS report come in on Tuesday, which signaled more job openings. So again, it's been kind of mixed. Non-farm employment was down, JOLTS job was up, jobless claims were up, and so with payrolls expected at 185K. Regardless of whether we come in at or what's expected, the previous one was 216, right? So the previous one we were noticeably higher. Unemployment rate expected at 3.8%. It's expected to jump up 0.1%. The last time we had 3.7, so they're expecting 3.8. And as we say in the poll here, the question is, how does the market respond to this, right? How does the market respond? All right, guys. So again, does the market want more or less jobs? That's the question, and I don't know. Looking at our poll numbers here, 52% say less, 48% say more. I think we want less jobs. I think less jobs, less job numbers, lower payroll numbers will cause positive reactions in markets, most likely. But again, I really have no freaking idea. Like, nobody does. We're just all guessing here. All right, guys. Where's gold? Gold's still sitting at 2072s roughly. So the meta stock is right around 461.30s. The previous, the 200 EMA level's right around 460. So let's see if that level like supports it a little bit, and if we hold up there. Are you Norwegian? No. No. I'm Louisianian. I need more bearish sentiment. I need more bearish sentiment. More is bearish. I correlated it with previous data. More jobs is bearish. Yeah, I mean, that's probably true. Going down is my educated guess. Maybe. Sideways movements are scary sometimes if sideways movement, but technical and fundamental analysis destroyed. Job numbers are total BS, as is everything else. Ferrari's expected to expand their partnership with Celsius. More jobs equals markets go down. I make money. Yeah, we'll see. We got about 500 people here live, team. So again, hit the subscribe button. I was under the assumption that Powell was focused less on jobs since the last meeting. True, but I don't think like Powell certainly said that we're not as much fearing jobs right now. I don't think it matters that much, though. I still think that it's certainly possible that the market doesn't want more jobs. You know. All right, guys. All right, guys. So again, we do have Meta starting to pop back up. It's at 462.40s. The Q pulling back to that 200 EMA volume weighted average price level. Gold sitting at 2070s right now, 2070s. Again, a big day, guys. A big day. All right, so NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang predicts increased global demand for AI infrastructure as countries pursue independent systems. Yeah, I think AI is going to keep growing. Wait, do kids have school this morning? Today a holiday or something? Yeah, I don't think so. No. right, we got 530 people here live. AI, Bitcoin are good, different paths. Yeah, they're different things. Dips, only 100 likes, that's crazy. And we got 120 likes, you know. Less jobs, the better. Crazy world. Well, when the market's fearing inflation is what it means. What's up, Yowzer? Corey, my kids have a half day today. Hey, what's up, cool? Pound dollar. Someone tell me about it. It mostly follows markets, right? Dips mostly follows just the broad market. The reason they want fewer jobs is because more jobs create a stronger economy, and that creates more spending and higher inflation. Yeah, 100%. I mean, again, I always use the same example, but the more people that work, the more money that people make, the more people spend. The more people spend, the more businesses raise prices to compensate for it and push inflation higher. So, you know, when you really zoom out, sometimes more spending in that regard, more jobs is bad for the economy and for markets. It's very up in the air, though. You know, it's very up in the air. Yeah, it doesn't cost anything to hit the like button, team, you know. Everything we do here is free. We don't charge a penny for anything. We don't sell a course. We don't sell a service. We don't even claim to be a good trader. And so if you haven't already, hey, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. Yeah, Meta announced it's going to pay a dividend for the first time. They authorized the 50 billion share buyback program. All right, team. Where's Peloton? I know Peloton dropped earnings a few days ago. Where are they at right now? I'm not going to say I told you so with Peloton, bro. How long have I been talking about Peloton, guys? Has anybody been watching my stream that long? I know some of you guys have. Like, listen, I've been very vocal about my bearish predictions on Peloton. And again, I'm going to give you the argument, team. I'm going to give you the argument. They got too big too fast. All right, in the pandemic, they went up way too freaking high. Peloton went up way, way, way too high. You know, and again, like, virtual reality is cool. But it's not $171, you know, virtual reality treadmill cool. You know, the problem with it is that they got too big too quickly. And when companies get too big too quickly, one of the massive things they do wrong is that they buy and spend money unnecessarily. They burn money, you know, and Peloton is just that. Peloton started creating virtual reality rowing machines and all these things that we didn't need. You know, I'm going to give you the argument I gave for this one. 2 years ago, I said the same exact thing. 2 years ago, I said the same exact thing. Peloton creating virtual reality rowing machines is like creating a virtual reality toothbrush. Nobody asked for it. Nobody wants a virtual reality rowing machine. Even the people that do are such a small percentage of overall people who want to exercise that they are burning money for nothing. You know, like, they need to humble themselves and recognize that people don't want a virtual reality rowing machine. Figure out what you do well with treadmills. You know, maybe get some other VR stuff. But again, just not the big shining company, man. I've never thought more about starting a short report company where I look into these companies. Because again, a lot of the companies that I said were weak years ago have continued to fall down in markets that are just breaking super big highs and all this crazy stuff. Again, a couple companies we've been specific about, team. A couple companies. Peloton, down big. BYND, Down big on a yearly chart, all that stuff. Is Dish even around anymore? Okay, Dish is not even around anymore. Dish, the other one, went bankrupt, which is actually kind of a risk. Wait, where'd my headphone go? Bro, my headphone just disappeared. There it is. Dish, not even around anymore, guys. I gotta clean up my office, dude. I got too much crap on the floor. There we go. All right. But yeah, I've never thought more about starting my own short fund, ever. And I could legally do it as long as I only state facts. Right? All right, non-farm payrolls. We've still got 30 minutes, team. 30 minutes. Lower non-farm data will have traders pricing in March rate cuts again. I don't know about that. AI will make humanity lazy. It reminds me of Wall-E. How's gold, bro? Gold is up over the last week. Upstart looks pretty neutral. I mean, it's basically where it was to start the year. Maybe it's up some percentages, but yeah. Nvidia is still churning around the highs. Yeah, I think the big problem is that companies start to act like Karens, I guess is the best word for it. Peloton, prime example of that. Like, and I don't understand what would make companies like start to act like that, you know? I think sometimes CEOs crack under pressure and they get too big for their own good, you know, where they lose sight of what their original like user base was. You know, QCOM, where's QCOM at? QCOM dipping from earnings. QCOM's not really like a really heavily watched tech stock, but it's big. It's kind of big. Yeah, I mean, DS, you're obviously one of those crash predictors. I've seen you in here a couple times. You're obviously one of those crash predictors. Everything you say is bearish and the market is just about to crash and sky is falling and it's the end of the world. And again, just to clarify, you're not the first person that's been here saying this stuff. You know, I had people telling me that 2 years ago and the market is up ridiculous percentages over that period of time. And so, number one, I'm not mad at you. You can have whatever view you want here as long as it's not disrespectful, okay? Number one. Number two is, like, we got to look at PE ratio to gauge extension, all right? Like, let's look at PE ratios, which is price to earnings, right? A very reasonable gauge of whether something is too expensive or not, all right? When we look at, what are you saying is too expensive? You were saying Nvidia is too expensive. So, again, let's take a look. Nvidia, I think we did the PE yesterday. Again, Nvidia, let's take a look at their PE ratio. Nvidia, 402 plus 270 plus 109 plus 88 cents. All right, so Nvidia's got a yearly PE of about 869. Nvidia price currently at 640. Gives it a PE ratio of about 73. Sorry, I left a digit, but yeah, this is about a 73 PE ratio. So it's certainly arguably extended, right? But it's not like crazy high. It's not like, again, Amazon a year ago was over 100. AMD was notorious for being really high PE ratio. But I think what you have to understand regarding it, like I hear a lot of people talk about AI stocks being extended, right? And I think a lot of them, it's just confirmation bias. Like they just want, they're short, or maybe they're watching like political news, and political news's job is to keep you invested, right? So what are they going to tell you? They're going to tell you the world's about to end. Look how bad the world is. And so that makes people bearish universally, which is the opposite of what you should be a lot of the time. But still, it's subjective. But again, the problem with this, right? The reason NVIDIA and AI stocks are shooting up is simple. It's because AI really is influencing their bottom line on that level. All right? Investors are not dumb. Look at the last 3 quarters. Look at what a difference the last 3 quarters were in revenue. We have more than doubled the previous highest revenue ever for some of these tech companies in AI. Specifically NVIDIA here, you can see them absolutely shooting up. And so what the point here is, we can say they're extended. We can say they're too expensive. We can say they're up too much. And again, that's fine. I'm not against you if that's your prediction, as long as you're respectful about it. But again, the bottom line for these companies is that the revenue has increased substantially from AI. Look at NVIDIA's revenue graph. Like, it has shot up. And so I think the premium in price, the high PE that you're paying now for NVIDIA is mostly due, like, again, markets are not super, what's the word for it? Like, earnings are not always super easy to predict. And the reason for it is because people are getting in now based off of what they think NVIDIA is going to do in the future. Right, NVIDIA earnings are on the 22nd. But again, if you look at their bottom line and revenue, and if we look at what they're expecting for the next quarter, right? So again, NVIDIA drops earnings on the 21st. They are expecting, where's this at? They're expecting 18.2 billion. So they're expecting another increase in revenue here. So another high revenue. They're expecting 415 EPS, another very high margin. So EPS is margins, right? If we look at their EPS graph for NVIDIA here as well, like we look at, if we look at the same thing but with earnings per share, which is margins, look at this shot up. Look at the last 3 quarters here. Again, same thing. Look at the last year. Same thing. Look at the increase in EPS. So look at the increase in margins here, like the better margins. And so I don't think it's something in which we can act like, oh, it's just some huge bubble and like it's not influencing them. Again, I think that comes from a lack of understanding. But maybe I'm wrong. Again, I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm not. But has anyone heard Tesla's down due to more price cuts? Yeah, they also had a recall in the Cybertruck. ExxonMobil. Yeah, oil came out. Oil earnings dropped this morning. So oil earnings did drop. Again, we'll see what happens. All right, team. We still got about 30 minutes left. Leading economic indicators down 1 month shy of record. 21 months different. What do you mean by leading economic indicators? Yield curve inversion, long time, yeah. Yield curve inversion means short-term bonds are going to be priced higher than long-term bonds. Are going to have a higher yield than long-term bonds. Is the yield curve inversion that you hear people talk about. NVIDIA is overrated. Maybe. Again, what I'm saying is that both NVIDIA's EPS has increased drastically since AI became a thing. We can see it evident in their actual numbers here. You could also see it evident in their revenue. Here's margins. So margins have gotten way better. Here's revenue. Revenue has gotten way better. 18 billion plus revenue now. So very high, very big. Yeah, we're watching gold. Gold's up at 2070s. Again, we got to look at Meta here. Meta at 462s. NVIDIA probably going more after earnings. Maybe. It depends. Maybe. And again, I'm looking at NVIDIA numbers here. Oh, you just mean future predictions for indicators. LEI is what you're referencing. Got you. But yeah, I mean, look, all I'm trying to say is that the revenue, EPS, and margins for these AI companies have increased dramatically. When AI first became big, one of my questions was, is AI going to influence these things in a positive, that substantially? AI stocks started to go crazy. One of the questions I asked my stream at the time, and I was skeptical. I thought we might get a crash as well. One of the things I kept asking my stream is, are the company's revenues going to increase with AI to an extent at which the price is going to be justifiable? Right? That was my main question. And again, I don't know if it's still at a price which is justifiable, but it was pretty solid increases. Like, they still did some pretty good numbers. And so I don't know. I'm not as bearish as some other people might be. All right, so we're adding to a little bit of positions here. Meta's still up there. Look at the Q. Look at gold. Still got 20 minutes. In my opinion, mixed market style, red, NASDAQ green. Why inverted yield curve came back. Dish will short squeeze like a meme. Dish is no longer listed as a company, unless it's an OTC company now. I don't know if it is or not. But it's not a... Yeah, I'm assuming Dish, I don't think is a publicly listed company anymore, right? Yeah, I don't see Dish listed anymore, so... You might be talking about DTTVY, but yeah. Again, the problem, I wonder who makes these bets, man. I wonder who makes these bets. Again, guys, the problem with, who is going to invest? All right. Satellite TV companies. Look at the technology of TV. You have regular cable, TV cable, right? Over time, you had premium cable services like Comcast and DirecTV, and they started charging obscene fees for cable. Hundreds of dollars a month for cable, obscene fees for it. It made TV much more expensive. To combat that, streaming technology picked up heavy. Internet technology has gotten way better with stuff like Starlink and everything else. And so you can now stream all the same things that you got on Comcast, all the same things you got on DirecTV for a quarter of the cost. Right? You don't need to strap a satellite dish on your house anymore to catch, cable TV. That technology is obsolete. I'm not saying satellite as a whole is obsolete. You can see internet satellite like Starlink is getting really, solid. But TV technology, you just don't need that anymore. You just don't need to do it. And this has been one of the most obvious obsolete companies that I've seen in a long time. And they tried to pivot, but again, we called that short years ago. They're not even listed anymore. Nvidia's 25 billion buyback, a head scratcher for some shareholders. 150 billion value growth for Meta, and 1 billion revenue forecast. Tech has kind of become like meme stocks too. What y'all are seeing right now is a crazy growing sector in AI. A lot of people didn't like it. Yeah, but America's always been in debt. It's always been in debt, brother. It's kind of how it's always been, dude. Now I got to pay a $100 internet bill so I don't pay less. Yeah, but I mean, you're going to pay a $100 internet bill regardless, no? If you didn't need internet, it would be one thing, but it's kind of like complaining about the electricity bill. Man, now I got to pay the electricity bill. It's well, no, you were going to pay that anyway, bro. I'm new here. Our projections at 185K bullish or bearish for the dollar. I would say they are bullish for markets and bearish for the dollar, just because they're dipping down. Payrolls are expected to decrease versus the previous reading last month, right? So they're expected to go down. I think last month they were like 212 or something, 215, 220K. This time they're expected 185K. So their payroll numbers are dipping down. And I think that's a more optimistic sign for markets. I think the market wants less jobs, less labor, less work, less spending. And I think because of that, if we come in as expected, we could move up, but we also could move down. Again, technically 185 is neutral. It's what's expected, right? So 185 is technically neutral. It's what's expected. So with that said, yeah, I don't know what the market's going to do if we come in as expected. What I'll say is if we come in higher than expected, the market will probably drop. And I say probably because it's impossible to predict with 100% certainty. We'll probably drop if we come in at 185. If we come in at 160, I think we'll probably go up. Daniel, that's impossible to answer. What if Nvidia didn't do 25 bill in buybacks? What would earnings be? Impossible. Before streaming, didn't have an internet bill over 30. Bro, I mean, Ryan, I'm a big tech nerd, bro. I haven't had an internet bill below 30 ever, dude. $30, bro? Where are you getting your internet, dude? I need to hit them up, man. If up, money printing goes burr. If down, interest rates go to the roof. Yeah, we'll see. Buy gold. Yeah, gold up to 2070s. We'll see if it holds. Gold has had a pretty good week. You can see the week for gold here. But, I mean, markets have had a pretty good week. We still got 16 minutes, team. What's up, Earn? All right, guys, we got about 800 people here live. About 800 people here. Again, hit the sub button. Hit the notification bell, guys. We appreciate it. Nvidia is still bouncing back up. Look at Nvidia try to run here. So look at Meta. Here's Nvidia, though. Nvidia's still making moves up at 643, basically. 643.50s. And again, the question is, are these going to hold into the opening bell? Because technically market hours aren't there until the open. So we'll see if technically the highs don't count until we hit the opening bell. Yeah, non-farm payroll data definitely affects the market. We also have a unemployment release today. Expectations are 3.8%. Starlink just reduced my monthly fee from 50 to 40. Last I checked, it cost 120 in the US. Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. $30. I haven't paid less than $60 a month for internet in decade plus. Oil dipping down. Yeah, oil is mostly from the earnings that came out today. ExxonMobil had earnings, and they're not reacting positively to it. Chevron released earnings, and they are basically neutral in pre-market now. So, Apple down after reporting earnings last night. Yeah, Apple is down some. Even Nvidia call options are super expensive. Yeah, for sure. They're high. How you feel about Meta? I think Meta's up a lot. I think Mark Zuckerberg's eating lobster right now, living life. I don't know if it's too extended up there. I'm not sure. Let me know in chat. Do you guys think Meta is too high up? You know, like, I'm not going to be too specific, okay? I'm not going to be too specific, right? But you got this penny stock guru, and I'm not going to mention his name. But a year ago, this dude was literally telling everybody how much of a scam market the SPY and Q and NASDAQ were, and that the S&P 500 was going to crash in 2023, and it was going to be weak, and that the dumb, perma bulls were going to pay. and that, you know, penny stocks were a better market. And like all this nonsense stuff. I see him posting about it regularly. You know, now he's acting like he knew it all along. He was like, oh man, you know, dumb bears shorting the SPY and Q. It's like, bro, you probably created them a year ago. What are you talking about? All right, 13 minutes here. 13 minutes. I got to get off social media. Everybody's full of crap, including myself, you know. Cannabis is ripping. I don't know. Is it? ACB up. Tilray. The problem with cannabis stocks is when are we going to get federal legalization? You know, alcohol, an objectively more harmful drug. I don't care what anybody says. It's very self-evident. Alcohol is so much worse than cannabis. But yet cannabis is criminalized and illegal, and, you know, liquor sold at gas stations, you know? And so, you know, hey, thank you, Andre. I don't know how much this is. Let me check. Do you see PayPal? Do you see PayPal over 100? Possibly. I'm not 100% sure there. I think it's got a long road up, but I think it's possible. And I think PayPal's a big company. It depends on it depends on how efficient crypto gets. Hey, thank you, bro. I appreciate the donation, brother. Thank you, man. But yeah, it depends on how efficient crypto gets. This is my favorite song. Oh, not my favorite song. This is my favorite song on my playlist. This is an old song we used to listen to a long time. It's called Rain Check. Will the dollar react positive on non-farm payroll data? It depends. The dollar is usually going to move inversely to the markets, right? So if payroll numbers come in really high, I think the dollar is going to go up. If payroll numbers come in really low, I think the dollar is going to go down. So I think there's going to be a positive correlation with payroll numbers and the dollar, but I might be wrong for sure. I might be wrong. All right, guys. Hey, we got 10 minutes. We got about 1,000 people here. How about the ETF, bro? What ETF, dude? Nvidia at 642. Nvidia at 642. Sam Altman, man, I feel like I haven't seen him as much in media lately. Man, I'm sorry, but Sam Altman's got to be the nerdiest looking dude I've ever seen in my life. I'm number 2 top 3 nerdiest people ever, but you know, I think it's his teeth. You know, hey, listen, he can buy new teeth. Man doesn't care. He's living life. I'm jealous of him, to be honest. You know. All right, guys. Hey, we got 10 minutes here before payroll numbers come out. 10 minutes. Nvidia, 642, kind of channeling sideways. I think a lot of stuff's going to be neutral ahead of this report until this report drops. I think traders are less likely to take huge positions now, waiting for payroll numbers to drop. And again, we got 10 minutes before payroll numbers come out. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens. Non-farm payrolls, for the most part, affect everything. Or can we see the speech? What speech? Yeah, I'm not going to be specific. Every time there's news, I watch your stream. Hey, thanks so much. I appreciate your knowledge, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate you joining the stream. What made Tesla go up to 190 a couple minutes ago? I don't know. Oh, it didn't. You probably saw like a random order going through at 8 a.m. 20 minutes ago. It's not a true reflection of price. It's usually just an order from overnight getting filled randomly up there and then it coming back down. So, yeah, it's not a true reflection of price. NASDAQ will crash from 8,000 by end of the year. Maybe. What made? Yeah, I haven't heard from him in a while. All right, guys. Hey, we got 8 minutes. 8 minutes. New jobs at 85K only. Unemployment rate 5.2%. Nah, dude. Again, I think if jobs go down, I think if the number comes in well under this expected number, I think the market's going to go up. I think the market's going to like that data. But again, I might be wrong, and it's impossible to know for sure. Looking at our poll numbers that we did this morning, got almost 1,000 votes. 52% think the market wants more jobs. And again, I got to disagree with the poll. I think the market wants less jobs. I think lower payroll numbers going to make bullish action in markets, most likely. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. We did another poll here as well. And 64% said they want less jobs. So I agree with this poll on social media more. So again, give me your last minute predictions in chat. What number do you think NFP shows up as? What number do you think non-farm payroll show up as? I'm going to go with 190. I'm going to just say 190. Slightly higher is what I'm going to go with. But again, I don't freaking know. I'm just guessing. But give me your last minute predictions of payroll numbers in chat. Just found this chat, trying to learn how to trade at 51. Got money, need the education. All right, I'll give you some advice, bro. Slow down. Do not buy a course. Do not buy some super expensive mentorship program. Most of the content you want to find in day trading, swing trading, investing is available for free online right now. You don't have to pay anything for it. Ignore sensationalized marketing, acting like if you just join their program, you're going to be rich next month. That's not how it is. Most day traders lose money. You know, you could try a funded account program. I'm sponsored by Top Step. They're the most legit one in the world. They pay out millions in withdrawals, and it just limits your risk as a new trader. I think most traders are going to lose here too, because most day traders lose. It doesn't matter whether they go to TOS or Top Step, but it's a lot cheaper to lose here. But if you're good enough to pass it, you get between 50 to 150K in funding with a 90% split. There's free funding coaches, tons of great resources. Great way to learn how to day trade with limited risk. They give you a paper account first, and if you could pass their testing, then they potentially fund you. And again, you can check out more information here. They are a sponsor, though. Of course, I'm biased. We got 6 minutes here, team, 6 minutes. Yeah, that's the best advice I can give a new trader. Is just take it slow. There's just so much nonsense marketing for traders, man. And again, you got to think about it. They're either telling you we're always going to crash. Like, big influencers are either trying to sell you a $5,000 mentorship program that'll give you publicly available content that you can find on Google for free. Or they'll try to tell you a market crash is going to happen every other day just because it's more clicks that way. You know how many people, listen, you know how many people predicted a crash ahead of Apple, Amazon, and Meta earnings yesterday? You know how many of these big time million plus YouTubers predicted a crash from these earnings? Go back and look. Go back and look. It's crazy how many people predicted a crash, and in hindsight, wildly wrong. You know, wildly wrong. So again, just understand crashes are massively overpredicted in markets, massively overpredicted. 187. I'm going to go with 190. AI hacked the market. What's up, Tech? Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Y'all good. Ignore the news. I'm losing money investing, but winning trading. You're an outlier, though, brother. You know, again, investing, the market did 24% last year, brother. It's hard not to make money in that. Start with small money, you will lose everything. Yeah. Paper trading always helps learn, for sure. Stock promoters using social media. I'm going negative 20K. Oh. Oh, wait, you're talking about payrolls. 215 would be great. Maybe. Again, I don't know what the numbers are going to show up as. We got 4 minutes here, team. 4 minutes. Also, I'm going to put it in sub-only mode since we haven't yet. We got about 1,200 people here live. We're going to throw this in sub-only mode. So if you haven't already, look, here's Carol. Let's see if she shows up. She did. Hey, baby, we got economic reports in 3 minutes. So, you doing all right? Yeah, I'd be careful not to watch too far over, but how you feeling? Not good? You okay?
So yesterday.
Thanks for proving my point. I make about $1,000 a day on futures, but every time I win, I don't just sit there and tell everyone. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying. I think this economic data comes out on multiple sites. Well, it'll come out here faster. I mean, you'll be able to find it faster here. Bitcoin will reach 2.3 million. All right, guys. Hey, we got 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, Carol had a... yeah, Carol's in pain right now. She had a procedure done yesterday. It's not... I can't be too specific about it, but yeah, she's not feeling great. That's why I was checking on her. We got 2 minutes here. 2 minutes, team. If it's a high number, NASDAQ will crash 500 points. Market only seems to go up, so that's all I bet on. Well, that's how the market seems this year for sure. All right, guys, we got 2 minutes here. 2 minutes. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm the person that tells you guys I'm not an expert. It's weird though. Like people get weird, bro. People get weird on the internet, man. Like people sit around waiting to hate, waiting to poke, waiting to try to do things that are detrimental to the channel for whatever reason. Like I've never been that emotional about anything in my life, dude. I've never sat around on somebody's channel trying to hate. What a waste of time. All right, guys. Hey, we got 1 minute. Make sure that you hit the live button next to the play button. You want to make sure your live button is nice and bright red. Here, you want your live button to look like this here, team. We got 1 minute left. You want your live button to be bright red. You could also put it in fast forward mode. Fast forward mode. Oh, it's absolutely jealousy. I think it's hard for people to be introspective, though. I'm top 3 jealous traders in the world right now. Apple looking down in the moment. Yeah, we'll see. Again, Apple has a pretty low PE ratio right now. It has to do with their buyback, though, but yeah, we'll see. 40 seconds, guys. 40 seconds. All right, let's do this. 40 seconds. Time for payroll data. 20 seconds, guys. 20 seconds. This timer's a little bit off. We still got 20 seconds. We also have inflation expectations today, too. All right, guys, 10 seconds. Here we go. Here goes payroll data. All right, here we go. There's the drop so far. Payroll data came in at 353,000. 353K, way higher than expected, noticeably higher than expected, way higher jobs than expected. And as I suggested, the market did not like higher payroll numbers. $353,000 payroll numbers versus 187 expected. Unemployment did come in low at 3.7%. All of this stuff signals more people working, more people spending. But yeah, 353,000 payroll numbers, 353K, crazy high. And as I said many times, the market does not want more jobs. Lower unemployment, higher payroll numbers, and the market is dumping down. As I told you guys, again, we told you guys, you got to watch the market. A lot of people don't understand economics, and, they, for whatever reason, go with conventional predictions like, hey, the market wants more payroll numbers. Again, chat. Let's see. Chat thought the market wanted more jobs. And again, market is dumping down to 424 on the Q. Gold's dumping down to 2050s. Nvidia down to 639s. Market just broke under 424s. Again, higher payroll numbers, way higher payroll numbers than expected. Not going to say I told you so, but I definitely told you guys. Super high, guys. Yeah, and again, the market doesn't want this. Definitely top 3 most genuine, bearded, stock market and futures YouTube trader in the world right now. But yeah, I'm not gonna say I told you so, guys, but we definitely did. Again, let me know what you guys think. Q bounced it up a little bit, but super high payroll numbers. I told you guys, watch. Let's look at the dollar index. I told you guys the dollar index was gonna have a positive correlation, right? So payroll numbers came in high. Dollar index shooting up. Shooting up. You got to understand, what the market wants. It doesn't matter what Powell says yesterday or the day before. What matters more is what the market fears and where inflation expectations are into the future. More people working means massively more spending that's going to go through the economy, and more spending that goes through the economy, higher inflation gets. That's why the market did not like this report, is because it meant more people spending, higher payroll numbers signals more people spending. More people spending means businesses are going to start raising prices more, thus making inflation worse, right? That is why the market reacted like this. And to be fair, it's not the biggest reaction. It's not the biggest reaction. We still could turn back and come the other way. We do have Michigan inflation expectations later on this morning as well. So we do have that. But yeah. Hey, thanks for posting this. I subbed. Hey, thank you, Clinton. I appreciate it, brother. Thanks, man. He says top 3 because he's top 3 of everything in the world. Definitely top 3 saying everything in the world. I'm top 3 in the world right now for sure. Again, market's still dumping down. Dollar index pushing up, right? So the Dixie does inverse things to the market, right? So if the market's falling, the Dixie goes up. Dixie up to 103.50s. Market's still falling down under 424.50s on the Q. Gold still dipping down at 20.59 right now. So again, broad equities markets and futures markets are down certainly from the non-farm payroll report. And we'll see if it holds, guys. We'll see if it holds. Yes, Sanchez, you're probably not live, brother. So hit the live button next to the play button, dude. If your data's not out yet, you're probably not super live. Let me check back. I see. Let's see. Also, guys, again, if you haven't already, if you want to day trade the futures market, number one, remember, guys, I'm terrible at this stuff and have no idea what I'm talking about. Good luck. Remember, CFTC rule, whatever, 4.41, not an investment professional. We're not liable if you lose. Blah, 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 right? Anyways, with that said, if you haven't already, check out one of my sponsors. My main sponsor is a company called Top Step. They are a funded program in futures where you can day trade the futures market. And the futures market is incredibly useful for a couple reasons. Number one is there's no PDT rule. If you try to day trade stocks, you're going to need 25,000 plus in a margin account to be able to do so freely. You're going to be severely restricted if you have less than that. Or you can trade a cash account. You can only go one direction. You got to wait for funds to settle. It's just not easy to day trade in those markets. Futures has no PDT restrictions. I can literally buy essentially the S&P price action, essentially the Q price action, and what's called the NASDAQ E-mini, the S&P E-mini. No PDT rule. I can buy market, sell market, short, long, all that good stuff. No PDT rule. Very similar to day trading stocks, and the patterns in those futures contracts are very similar to blue chip patterns. Top Step gives you a demo, and just taking this challenge builds your skill. The base one's $49. They give you a 50K demo. If you can hit 3K without losing 2K, they fund you 50K with a 90% split as long as you can follow their rules. And if you pass the testing, again, they give you funding. If you fail, you're only out what you pay for it. The base one's $50, so it limits your risk as a day trader to $50. But if you're good enough to pass it, you get 50K in funding, 90% split, up to 150K in funding. And so it's the best of both worlds. Taking the challenge builds your skill, and it's just a good way for new day traders to learn with limited risk, right? But I'm biased because they pay me money, and so of course they're a sponsor of mine. Check them out right here if you want to help support the channel. How tall are you? 5'11" or so. Do not expect job report to favor disinflation. Yeah. Crazy thing is more people are working multiple jobs to survive than ever before, so this is counterintuitive. Yeah, for sure. No, that's absolutely true, is that people have to work more because prices have gone up so much. And so it's kind of this snowball domino-like effect in which more people work, so more people spend. More people spending because prices are high. More people spending because more people are working causes prices to go up. And then because prices go up, people have to work more, and so people spend more, and then prices go up more. It's this nasty cycle of inflation, right? It's what the Fed's trying to push down. If you want to know why the Fed raises rates, they're raising rates to discourage spending, to discourage this, right? They're trying to push the labor market down regardless of what Powell says. That's the goal for the Fed. And so, I mean, it's not the most It's not the worst. It's not like we're crashing right now. The Q is still very green on the day. Previous closing price on the Q was just under 422. We're at 424 almost, 423.90s. And so we're not down that much. A lot of stocks are still up crazy from Apple, Amazon, and Meta earnings yesterday. So they're still up a lot. Extension is certainly on the upside. But yeah. Props to John for saying 5'11" and not 6 foot. Yeah, I wish I was 6 foot, bro. I'm almost there, dude. You know, I didn't hit my, like, when I was young, I was really short. Like when I was a kid, I was very short. You know, like I was like the shortest kid in my class in like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, I think. And so for a long time, they thought I was gonna be like really short. 6th grade, I hit a growth spurt and I finally grew. So kind of lanky though, you know. Does this affect energy stocks? I mean, we can take a look. So here's the Dixie. Here's the Exxon stock. It's going down too. Yeah, I mean, this is going to broadly affect everything for the most part, right? It's going to affect most major sectors. It's going to affect tech. Like here's Apple, down. Amazon, down. Meta, down a little bit. Not super influential on these, but they're still moving in a little bit. It's going to certainly affect other sectors as well. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just impactful over markets. Yeah, for sure. My son's starting to grow too, so I'm happy for him, man. My son, we were worried for a little bit, but he's starting to grow. I'm 5'8", I ain't getting taller. Yeah. 5'10" is not the worst. 5'10" is average, you know. I'm only an inch taller than that, so I mean, I have bad posture too. I went to the doctor one time, and she was like, "Hey, how tall are you?" And I was like 5'11" or so. And she was like, "No, you're not." And this was like like I would always joke around with. She was a nurse. I would always kind of joke around and talk to, but I was like, "Yeah, I am," and she was like, "No, you're not." And so we literally got out there, got the measuring tape out, and she measured me, and she was like, "Oh, you are 5'11". I was like, "Yeah, I hunch. I have bad posture, terrible posture. It's probably because I sit at the computer all day." But yeah. Yeah, she was trying to hate, man. She was trying to hate. Yeah, I'm actually the runt of my dad's side of the family. So my dad's side's a bunch of freaking Viking-like people, man. My mom's side's Cajun and short. My dad's side, I'm the shortest person by far. Like my aunt is the same height as me. You know, my aunt is 5'11". My other cousin is like 6 foot tall. You know, my cousin 6'1", my dad 6'1", 6'2". They're all taller than me, like every one of them. You know, and so yeah, I'm the shrimp of my dad's side. My mom's side's all pretty short. My mom's Cajun, and so my mom's like 5'2". Anyways, non-farm payroll data. Again, you can see it at the bottom of the screen. Unemployment came in at 3.7%. Payroll numbers came in at 353,000 versus 180,000 expected. What would you say to your son if he asks you to start trading? I would let him start investing. Trading, short-term trading is possible, but it's also something that takes a lot of emotional discipline. And I don't think kids have that, regardless, especially not my son. I don't think kids have that type of emotional discipline. And so I wouldn't want him to day trade. I would let him invest, maybe swing trade, maybe, learn economics. I think that's a good thing to get him started in, but not necessarily short-term trade like day trading. Yeah, definitely top 3. Bond yields are rebounding. The Q's starting to bounce back up too. Again, initially a nasty reaction to payroll numbers, and understandably so. They just came in super high. Do you think the market will continue to dip throughout the day? I really don't know. That's impossible to tell. Market will do nothing until the 24th of February. What's on the 24th? CPI should be in about 10 days. Yeah, it's a standing desk. I don't ever use it, though. I should use it like that. 6'2" female here was always the tallest in school, but helped a lot with basketball. Oh yeah, I bet you're dunking on people at 6'2". Non-farm payrolls next month. If your son had 30K, would you help him invest it? Sure. I mean, yeah, probably. I don't know, man. Kids do have a lot of daily stress, more than you realize, man. Like, kids' desire to fit in causes a lot of stresses on their life. I know at least my kids, man. Kids are mean, and kids are very excluding for dumb reasons and stuff like that. Ten-year-olds are the worst too, dude. My son had his birthday party. He had a couple friends over. He had like 4 friends over for his birthday party, bro. And like, one of the kids was normal. The other 2 kids, man, they're sitting there being freaking drama kings, man. Like, sitting there complaining, like they're starting fights with each other. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, hey, it's like my son's birthday party, right? And 2 of them are fighting with each other. And one of them's like, no, I'm not talking. I'm just going to say Bill. I'm not talking to Bill. And I'm like, why not? And he was like, because Bill said this yesterday. I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, it ain't about you. Get over it. It's not you. This is somebody's birthday party. Like, be quiet. Stop being freaking dramatic. And just go play, dude. Sheesh, man. Kids are emotional wrecks. I don't have the patience. I'm not really a kid person. I don't really like kids. I like my own kids. I don't like being around other kids, though. I'll have Nerf battles with them, though. But that's about as... I don't like hanging out with them outside of that. Nvidia at 641s. No, I do. It wasn't my kid acting like that. My kid was trying to play and have Nerf battles. The other kid, there's another kid here that was pretty normal too. The other 2 were just freaking, you know, get over it, man. Yeah, they're 10-year-olds though. 10-year-olds, yeah. Yeah, I don't let my kids have social media. Apple started to bounce up a little bit too. We're starting to move up a little bit. The market has almost completely rebounded back up. We still got a little bit of ways to go. The question is, does the Q break the volume weighted average price right here? Like, look at the VWAP right here. It's at 425.30s. 425.30s. You know? Y'all have some terrible ideas in chat. Get out of here with that nonsense. Would you say you are a strict dad or chill? I try to have an authoritative parenting style. So like I'm very chill and jokey and like play around with my kids and have fun and like let them relax and everything like that, unless they screw up big, and then I turn to very stoic and strict on them. It just depends. It depends on what they do. You know, if they're screwing up, they're gonna hear it from me. You know, but if they're doing what they're supposed to, I'm very relaxed and chill. You know, authoritative is firm but fair, right? I try to be firm but fair. You know, and I think that's what helps kids be happy. If you're too much on one side, if you're too loose, kids are gonna be unhappy. If you're too strict, kids are gonna be unhappy, right? So you got to be somewhere in the middle, but you can't just let them do whatever they want. You got to parent them. Nvidia at 640s right now, though. Nvidia just broke down under the 200 EMA in the volume weighted average price. I see bond yield spiking right now. 10-year up to almost 4%. Nvidia is still trying to move back up, but just dipped under the VWAP 200 EMA level. Again, look at the volume weighted average price. We talk about this level a lot. We told you guys to look for a potential rejection there, and that's what we did. We rejected directly off of it. Q is rejecting. Yeah, the volume weighted average price rejection. Gold is now down 2050 or so. Almost just tapped 2050. Yeah, I mean, I have a little bit different of a parenting style. I think, like, I've talked about this before, but I'm okay with letting my kids watch certain, like, movies. Like violence is an example, right? Like I'll let my son and my daughter both watch movies that have violence in it, with some restrictions. I think if you restrict your kids too much from that type of stuff, right? If you shelter them too much from that type of stuff, they become obsessed. Some of them become obsessed with it when they get older because it's what they never were able to see, right? So when they start to get older, they become absolutely obsessed with it, and that can turn bad really easily, right? And so you got to expose your kids to the world and let them understand the world with guidance. But I'm not like a super strict parent in that way. I'll let my kids watch some movies. It depends on what it is. I'm not letting them watch whatever. But yeah, I do believe you got to let your kids understand the world, and you can't shelter them from that, because if you do, it can make it worse. Instead of investing, study hard and get a high-paying job. I mean, I think you do both. Like, studying hard and getting a high-paying job is great. It depends on the degree, though. Like, college is not for everybody. I really, truly believe this. College is not for everybody. Now, certain STEM degrees and, like you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, go to college, of course. But if you just want to be a business person, unless you're getting your MBA, don't go. Like, don't get a bachelor's in business. You're still going to get a better job than somebody without a degree. But if you want to be an entrepreneur, be an entrepreneur. Don't go to college and waste 4 or 5 years just to get, a degree that's useless, like journalism or communications or whatever. But it's very nuanced, and it depends on the person. Do you think trades are highly undervalued? To a certain extent, yes. A lot of people are going to make more in trades than regular. But if you don't invest your money, guys, remember, like, all forms of investing are hedging against inflation, right? So, like, they're all hedging against inflation. If you do not make those investments, again, hedging against inflation, you're going to lose money to inflation over time. Like, inflation's going to happen no matter what, right? And what I see a lot is, like, I see people really skeptical of markets. Like, I see people like, oh, I don't want to invest in the market. It's a scam or whatever, right? But a decade goes by, and they've lost so much money to inflation. Like, if you sit on $30,000 cash, in 10 years, that $30,000 is going to be significantly less buying power. And so the only way to really combat that is to hedge it with investing. Again, you can invest in gold. Gold's done really well. Gold has 7x'd since 2020, or since 2000, I mean. You can invest in real estate. Real estate appreciates for the most part and keeps up with inflation to a certain amount. You can invest in the S&P, the NASDAQ. You can invest in tech. You can invest in whatever you want to invest in. But if you don't invest in something, you can invest in bonds. Bonds are guaranteed returns, guaranteed by the U.S. government. So, like, bonds, you buy 10-year bonds, you're going to make about 4% right now. You can look at 10-year yield. You move the decimal place over once, and you'll get the 10-year level, which is right around 4%. So, again, the example I always use, you buy $100K in 10-year bonds right now. You're loaning the government, in treasury bonds, you're loaning the government $100K. You're going to make 4% of that every year in interest. So you loan the government $100K every year, they're going to pay you $4,000 in interest payments. And then at the end of that 10-year period, you're getting your money back. So it's guaranteed by the U.S. government. And so if you're not buying the market, you should at least be buying bonds or buying some type of investment vehicle to keep up with inflation. If you're not, you're losing money. It's just the reality of it. Precious metals tend to hold value pretty well and appreciate as well. But which one you buy is subjective. $500 to $900 is a very good return. A very good return. You've basically made, 80% on your money? $500 to $900, I think my math is, 80%. So, I mean, yeah, that's good. You made $400 from $500. So 80% gains is pretty solid, bro. All right, dude. Yeah, you just got to go, bro. It's just too toxic. Like, you're saying the same thing over and over again. And again, it's apparent that you just watch political news constantly. And so you're just hella emotional about stuff, dude. Calm down, bro. It'll be all right, man. It'll be all right. Can you check the Fed Watch tool? Sure. Again, March. Most people expecting a pause. I think this was really polarized during the Fed meeting. This is a continue to pause, and this is a 25 basis point rate cut. Less likely that we're going to cut rates now. I think after Powell came out pretty hawkish. And again, people can say I don't know what I'm talking about, right? But if you remember what my prediction was for the Fed meeting, prior to the Fed meeting, what did I say? I said the Fed was probably going to pause, and then Jerome Powell would take a hawkish stance during the press conference. That's exactly what happened. His stance was so hawkish, in fact, that instead of people expecting a cut in May or March, the percentages skewed drastically to continue to pause, right? If hawkish is more restrictive, rate cuts are dovish, right? And so the percentages for a rate cut went down dramatically, much less dovish, because Powell again was very hawkish from his meeting. And so we were exactly right. And again, we can look in May and still see, like, a lot of people are still expecting cuts in May, right? So 61% expecting cuts, 25% expecting rate hikes, or expecting a pause again, and 13% of people expecting 50 basis point cut. I don't think we're going to do 50. I think the Fed is balanced a lot of the time, but I think, and so I think 50 basis point cut is just a little bit too much too soon. Yeah, and like, again, y'all have to understand my bias about crashes, and I say it every day. But again, what I'm saying is true. Look at a 10-year breaking highs, almost up to 4% at 3.997%. Q still breaking down a little bit, but you gotta understand my bias. Like, I run a market community. I always tell people I don't know, and I might be wrong, right? But what happens is, like, you get people that predict crashes. Right? They predict crashes. Maybe they sell their equities positions, right? So they get flat. They miss out on years like last year. And then they get emotional about it. And then when they get emotional about it, they start coming to people's streams telling everybody the sky's going to fall and the world's about to end, mostly because they're emotional for missing out on the gains that the market did last year. Again, S&P did 24% last year. Or people take a bunch of put options and start betting against the market. And again, I was saying this years ago, and I'm still saying it today. Market, it's very difficult to predict crashes. Crashes are wildly overpredicted. Universally, you always have some emotional traders constantly pushing for a crash, right? But again, statistics-wise, crashes only usually happen once every decade, maybe more or less once every decade, right? Major corrections and crashes is what I should say. And again, we've already had a major correction back here. Like, look at 2021 and 2022. We already had a very major correction. It's a weekly chart. We already had a recent major correction in markets. And so it's not like the market's just going to be in this constant state of crashing and correcting, regardless of what the news tells you, regardless of what anything. And I'm not very political. I'm pretty anti-political. I'm very neutral. I don't watch political news or anything like that. I disagree with both sides. I try to just stay very apolitical. But again, I think it wraps people up. Again, if you watch the news, very similar to some YouTubers as well, right? Like, what gets clicks, which is what is driving this, telling people the market is going to crash, the sky's going to fall, the world's in turmoil, gets clicks, right? That gets more clicks than saying, hey, market's looking strong. And so what does the news do? The news says markets are going to crash, the sky's going to fall. What do big YouTubers say? They say markets are going to crash, sky's going to fall. In the end, it's very difficult to predict. And maybe they're right. I don't know. But I stay skeptical. You think gold's going to make a retracement to 2040s and 2050s? I think it's already down to 2040s and 2050s. Whether it holds there is a different story. You have this big support level from Thursday, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll get understanding. Fed watch gets more accurate closer to the decision. Yeah. What can we invest in that will not fluctuate so much but still provide a return? I don't know. Chat? Any ideas? Bonds? Bonds are going to provide a return, not fluctuate as much. I mean, they'll fluctuate for sure, but but money is guaranteed to a certain extent. John, top 3 nice traders on YouTube. Definitely top 3. What do higher non-farm payroll means? It means higher, more spending, more people working, more spending. All right, Q's still breaking down here. Broke under that 424 level down to 423. Still green on the day though, but starting to flush down. Bonds are pushing higher. Gold still dipping down to 2047s. You can see on the right side. Based on today's unemployment rate, do you think the consumer sentiment will result in a positive result as well? I'm not sure there for the inflation expectations dropping later. Potentially, but utilities, yeah. Again, we'll see. Again, remember, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. We're going to day trade on there today. There's no PDT in futures. Again, it's what most pro day traders should be doing, in my opinion. But again, I'm biased because they're a sponsor. But again, if you want to day trade, don't put up thousands yourself and risk that in the stock market. You know, most day traders are going to lose. Limit your risk. Learn to trade with a funded account program. You still learn how to trade. It's a great, perfect middle ground of pressure, in my opinion, right? Because you're still risking something, but you're not risking thousands of dollars. But if you're good enough to pass it, you still get funding. You still get a 90% split. You get to keep your first 10K in profit. There's free funding coaches. Patterns are very similar to blue chips. If you look at the Q right now, which is, you know, the NASDAQ, if we look at the NASDAQ in the middle, and then you look at like what, Apple, it's going to be a very similar downward move in both of these, you know. And so, I mean, you can day trade this middle one with no PDT rule, all that good stuff in the futures market. And again, the best way to do it is to test your skill and limit it with Top Step. Again, here's the link if you want to check it out. Modern art should be priced at 0. It depends. Art is very subjective. What's up, Tiny? What's up, Kimberly? Hey, I appreciate you guys watching the stream. Nvidia's cheap. I wouldn't call it cheap. I don't think it's as inflated as people are making it out to be just because they want the market to drop, but it's certainly high, in my opinion. I don't think shorting anything's a good long-term investment. Commodities, is Meta too high? I don't think Meta's PE ratio is super high, but I think they also did a buyback, which is going to influence it. Silver's cheap. Silver's falling right now with everything else. Look at silver here. What do you think about SoFi today? I'm in SoFi, but it's down. Nvidia at 639, so I still think a lot of stocks are going to break lifetime highs at the opening bell, specifically Nvidia. Previous lifetime high was 634. And so in less than 28 minutes, it drops all the way down under 634, which is possible. It's going to be at least around lifetime highs, though, for potential break at the open if we get bullish action, which who knows if we're going to. Peloton earnings dipping down. All right, team. NASDAQ still flushing under 17.5K in futures. What do you think is going to happen on Monday? Fed Chair Powell speaks. I think he speaks Sunday on 60 Minutes, right? And so, yeah, we'll see how he influences the market next week. I'm not sure. I really don't know there. Next week, we got services and ISM services PMI. We got a lot of Fed members speaking next week. But it's a pretty slow week aside from that in terms of economic data. The next CPI report is going to be, I believe, let me see. I don't think it's next week. I think it's the week after. Services PMI, Monday. Bostic speaking. Import exports. I think we have some earnings too, but Bowman speaking Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday. Jobless claims. Yeah, next week's very slow. I think we got some earnings though, but very slow week. Except for earnings, we got Caterpillar, McDonald's, Estee Lauder in the morning. Peloton or Palantir earnings Monday evening. We'll think about covering that one. Palantir's a pretty big company. We got Spotify, Eli Lilly in the morning on Tuesday. Hertz, BP, Toyota, Snapchat Tuesday evening. We'll stream that live. Ford, Enphase, Chipotle, Elf, Alibaba Wednesday morning. Uber Wednesday morning. So a bunch of earnings dropping. Wednesday evening, PayPal, Disney, ARM. Thursday, ConocoPhillips, Philip Morris. So we got big earnings basically all week next week. Affirm, Pinterest, Thursday evening. And then Friday, you got Pepsi, Canopy Growth, a couple other ones. AMC earnings is February 27th. What about GameStop? GameStop earnings is in March. And then I believe the next week we have a CPI. So big earnings week next week still. All right, so CPI is going to be Tuesday, February 13th. What's weird is like Wednesday, they're not doing PPI on Wednesday, which is odd. Thursday, Philly Fed, retail sales, and then Friday, they're doing PPI a couple days after CPI, so PPI is going to drop on Friday. Weird. So CPI is Tuesday, not next week, but the week after. PPI is Friday. Very strange. NASDAQ starting to bounce. Apple rebounding a little bit back up too. Tesla dumping down a little bit with all this report too. Tesla is one of the weaker companies right now, all the way down at 185.40s. Hey, later, Jay. Dixie breakout. What a report. Tesla was recalling 2.2 million cars. Yeah, I see the Cybertruck getting recalled to a certain extent. You thinking of buying gold? I don't know. Yeah, Powell this weekend on Sunday. Powell this weekend on Sunday. I still can't figure out what time it is. A lot of Fed speakers next week. We don't really have a website. Not really. We got an old site that we don't use anymore. Apple up to 181s. Silver dumping down, yeah. Silver is falling. Look at gold. Is it time to buy precious metals? There's gold down to 2040s. NASDAQ in the middle. Apple on the left. I still got 20 minutes into the open. Got a little rebound in some stuff here too. Dixie looking for false breakouts. Yeah, that's my dog Bruce. NVIDIA forward PE is 31. That's really not that bad. But again, we'll see. Time will tell. We got 15 minutes until the opening bell. Yeah, we do have University of Michigan consumer sentiment today. I don't know whether it's going to affect anything major here, team. I really don't know. I don't know if it's going to be a big release or not. It's most likely not going to be something crazy big, in my opinion. Not that I can think of. Usually it doesn't move that much. Yeah, I mean, but it doesn't matter what he says, though, Bobby. Like, Powell can say whatever he wants. He can say the sky is green. But the reality of it is, it's not about him and what, it's not about what the Fed certainly doesn't want too strong of a labor market. Not right now. They don't want more spending, right? It's not that they're necessarily against labor. If we could have strong labor and less spending, I'm sure they would want strong labor, right? And so maybe that's the context that they meant it in. But again, regardless of what they say, the market's fearing labor. It's fearing spending. That's the nuance of these economic reports, is that the market fears spending right now. And that's kind of what's going down, is that the market's fearing spending, and that's kind of what it is. All right, team. Have a great weekend. Hey, thanks, Jay. I appreciate it. You thinking to buy gold? I don't know. We'll see. Really can't see today. Any green? Bad news for inflation? Maybe. I have to agree with you, but options expiration 0 day to expiry can change that. Hi, good morning and happy all. I posted 2 FX trades in chat. Hope nobody followed. Yeah, we'll see. Discord, man. I haven't even looked at my Discord today. Hey, bro. How you doing, dude? Good morning, man.
Good morning.
How you doing, bud? Good to see you, man. Yeah, Pawn gave me the call out for DSS's chat logs earlier. You doing all right, bud? Hey, don't. Hey, no. Listen, I got too many cords around here. Sorry, bud. Yeah, sorry, buddy. Love you, dude. Thinking of waiting for a retracement for gold to get around 2035s. Yeah, gold all the way down to 2040s. I don't know. Gold has been consolidating over 2K for months now. What does the non-farm payroll result mean? More people working and spending. Worse inflation problems, but a stronger economy is what it means. Hey, bud. What you doing, man?
Oh, Mama just wanted me to say this. I lost my tooth.
Oh, let me see that thing, man. Which tooth is it? Let's see. Oh, that's cool. Cool, man. Yeah, don't lose it. Oh, whoa. There you go. All right, bud. Congrats about the tooth, man. Yeah. Because my phone's got a bunch of screens. Yeah. So. All right, bud. Love you, man. All right, guys. Nvidia bounced it up a little bit. So is the Nasdaq. So is Apple. Gold's not really moving that up that much, but he's 10. He doesn't believe in that, man. My daughter believed in Santa until she was like 11. My son By the time he was 6, he was skeptical, right? Tesla, again, at 185.40s. Apple moving back up at 181s, right around the volume weighted average price. I think the top is in for a while, and we were sideways until CPI on the 13th. Maybe. Possible. Inflated teeth. Tooth fairy inflation. Definitely. All right, guys. Hey, we got 12 minutes, 11 minutes, really, until this data comes out. John, your son will be very successful in life. I hope so. He's a smart kid. Inflation is real. Apple is up due to VR thing hype. Yeah, I know the Vision Pro thing is been getting some attention. All right, guys. Apple at 180.50s, 180.50s. NASDAQ at 17.5K. Gold at 20.40s. We haven't had this much of a non-farm payroll shock for a while, almost double. Yeah, I mean, it was certainly high. And you can see the market's reaction to it on the NASDAQ. So market certainly didn't want higher payrolls. I tried to tell people this. Let's end this poll, actually, because, again, we did this poll. We told people at the time. We told people at the time that the market wanted less jobs, and that's exactly what the market wanted, was less jobs, and we got more jobs. Market dumped down. The next question will be, does the market close green today? Does the SPY close green today? Is a good option. And we also have, again, consumer sentiment, inflation expectations dropping later on this morning. Market opens up in 9 minutes here, 9 minutes. Your poll's the same every day. Well, you'll be all right. Will I do another poll today? Next poll. How many polls will we do today is going to be the poll option. How come you never look at the Dow? I don't like the Dow as much. The Dow is a little bit more I don't know. I just don't like the Dow as much. Dow currently at 38.5K. 38.5K. Amazon's still sitting around 170. Again, Apple pulling down a little bit. Nvidia at 637. So remember, the previous lifetime high for Nvidia was 634.90, I think, or something like that, right? So if Nvidia opens over 635, it will technically break lifetime highs today at the opening bell. So we got about 7 minutes until that potentially happens. Who would want to spend 8 times as much for a VR headset from a company that doesn't want to call it a VR headset and went out of their way to make sure it doesn't do the thing people buy a VR for? Because I think, honestly, I have no idea, dude. Spatial computing. So this is just a computer goggle. Like it's basically like a, yeah, it's like a computer that you have a goggle system for. Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of high priced too, in all honesty. I think that might hurt its chances long term. All right, guys, Apple's still pretty sideways. Gold taking a huge hit this morning. Nvidia bouncing back up. It's almost up to 639s right now, 639s. We still got 4 minutes. Yeah, $3,500 for some Apple goggles is kind of high in my opinion, but yeah, tech is becoming so competitive with each other. It's one of the problems. Like the Switch never has Netflix, doesn't have Netflix, doesn't have all like tech is becoming so competitive with each other that it's kind of hurting the consumer to a certain extent. You see this a lot with tech over the last 5 years. All right, Apple started to test the volume weighted average price, trying to move up a little bit. We'll see if it continues to move. All right, team. You guys ready? All right, team. Let's watch NASDAQ here. Apple dipping down pretty drastically. So again, on par to break Meta lifetime highs at the open. Meta lifetime highs on par to break. The previous lifetime high for Meta was 406.36. Meta now at almost 460s at the opening bell. Nvidia primed to break lifetime highs. Nvidia previous lifetime highs was 634.90s, I believe. 634.93. Primed to break it. It's sitting just under 640 right now. So Nvidia potentially breaking lifetime highs. Amazon, previous lifetime high was 188.60. So Amazon's still a little ways away from lifetime highs, but it's at about 170. And so we do have tech potentially breaking lifetime highs. AMD back up to almost 174. Previous lifetime high was 180. So again, Nvidia specifically about to break lifetime highs potentially at the opening bell here. Team, we got about a minute and a half left. There's Amazon right there. Let's look at Nvidia. Nvidia right around 640, right around that 200 EMA volume weighted average price. The NASDAQ at 17.5K. Gold sitting at 2040s. And again, we might just kind of day trade some stocks at the opening bell this morning is what I'm thinking. We might just kind of day trade some stocks. Great coverage this week. Thanks, Bobby. I appreciate it, man. Hey, see you, Tiny. Have a good day. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking back at the chat. All right, guys, there's the opening bell. Nvidia up to 640, hitting lifetime highs at the opening bell. Nvidia up to 640. Tesla still dumping down. I'm seeing some green action here, though, at the opening bell. All right, guys, Nvidia down to 638s here, 638s for Nvidia. We can day trade this. Oh, wait. NASDAQ's still flushing. What kind of shares? Let me try 5 shares. I just want to see what the price action is going to look like here. 10 shares. All right, 15 shares. Half off. Shares again. Third off. second half off. We're just kind of scalping the Nvidia at the open, team, so bear with me. Just kind of playing around with it. We might take larger size, but we're just kind of taking quick short-term scalps, trying to build up a cushion on the day first with day trading. Weakness in tech at the open for sure. Ah, bad fill there. Not a bad fill, bad exit. I'm going to try to get back in and play with it. All right, we're going to have to cut this. I'm probably playing with this a little bit too early since the opening bell. We'll let it test the VWAP here. If it breaks over the VWAP clean, we're going to cut it. Yeah, I don't want to get caught in a red to green move. I'll take a little $25 loss there. AMD just broke highs, got up to 175 right now. This is dragging tech up. Nvidia pulling a red to green looking move too. Nasdaq starting to bounce back up. Again, Nvidia's still trying to make a run. Tesla's still struggling though. Look at Nvidia bounce. Gold's still testing lows. If we get a pullback to this 200 EMA volume weighted average price, we might buy some here. Yeah, we just never got our dip. Market's riding back up though. Look at this. Another, guys, check out this company called Chart Prime. This is a sponsor of mine as well. Back test it yourself and you'll see how genuinely powerful this is, right? Like, look at the strong signals. All right, these are 5-minute charts, right? Like, these are 5-minute charts. Look at the strong signal here, nice follow through. Sell signal here, beautiful breakdown. This is a 5-minute chart. Strong signal here, beautiful follow through. You could probably say this one was wrong. Strong buy signal there, you got a little bit of a follow through. Sell signal here, you got a little bit of a dip. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 may be wrong out of 6. I can't guarantee this. This is just my own testing. Look at this. Strong signal here, beautiful rip. This one was probably wrong. This one, beautiful bounce afterwards for like 30 minutes. So 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9. 2 out of 9 were wrong. 2 out of 9 were wrong. And again, this is on the Nvidia chart right now. I'm looking at the Nvidia chart. You could also use this on like the Nasdaq chart. You can use it on an hourly time frame, on a short-term time frame, on a long-term time frame, to get kind of an understanding of what markets might potentially do. Again, look at it today. Sell signal, drop. Strong buy signal, bounce. Sell signal, dip. Strong buy signal, bounce. Sell signal, dip. This one might have been wrong. This sell signal dipped as well. Look at the strong buy signal here. Beautiful bounce. Beautiful bounce. And so again, this can be powerful. You got to figure out what works. It's not always going to work in every time frame and every symbol. And so you got to find it when it's trending well, when the signals are working well, and then make, educated, predictions on what they might do. Look at the hourly chart as well. This is one that I've been incredibly impressed with for Chart Prime. Look at the hourly time frame. Look at the buy signal here, sell signal here. This is days of action. Strong buy signal here, days of bullish action. Again, sell signal here, days of bearish action. Strong buy signal here, you got like 3 hours. Sell signal here, dip. Almost all of them worked. I can't see any of these that maybe didn't work. Maybe some of these you could argue were not they didn't trend for the longest, but most of these had really long-term trends that followed it. Really long-term trends that followed it on an hourly chart. And again, it's like $40 a month. I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Of course, they are a sponsor of mine, and so I'm certainly biased. But man, look at this rip in markets here. And again, if you want to check them out, you can use this link. Remember, they are a sponsor. I can't guarantee anything with them. They're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased. But again, if you want to check them out, there's the link right there. And you can also you can also check this link out right here as well. Is Meta moving? There's Nvidia running. Meta testing highs as well, man. Crazy, man. Tech is absolutely nuts right now. Absolutely nuts. 464 for Meta. 464. We do have Michigan expectations today as well. Again, gold on the right side, breaking lows still. Nvidia's still up there. Let's take us some day trading swings. It's been a while since I day traded stocks. Let's just start to load into Meta. Didn't quite have the time. It's alright. 10 shares. It's kind of a risky position here, but that's alright. I wanted to add into like 20 shares, but I didn't really get the chance to. So we're just sitting in a 10 share position on Meta, looking for a pullback really. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green candles in a row. So I mean, that's the only risk of this. NASDAQ up to 17.5K. So NASDAQ's rebounding really nicely also here. Just taking a small position. I didn't want to I didn't want to day trade this like that. I wanted to buy a pullback. We just didn't get it from Meta. It's just too strong, so we'll just bow out of that, I guess. Look at this rip on Meta. What a crazy move in markets right now, guys. Wow. Tech, dude, just crazy right now, man. This is absolutely nuts, dude. Look at tech, man. Meta at 467.50s. Nvidia at 647s. What's the rest of these stocks doing? Apple is down on the day, but starting to bounce back. Tesla's very weak on the day as well, testing lows after all the recall and all that bad news that dropped. Look at Meta. Look at NVIDIA surge right now. Again, markets are following it. Here's the NASDAQ rebounding all the way back up from payroll numbers. Tech helping the market, again, with earnings yesterday. NVIDIA up to 648. Another lifetime high for NVIDIA just tapped. Wow. All right, team. Again, Meta just broke highs again. Lifetime highs almost up to 170. Tap that 170 level here. Wow. You scalped quite a bit. This is to prove that these reports are for gullible traders. Well, I don't necessarily think so. I think payroll numbers are what the market fears. But tech earnings were yesterday, and they all did mostly better than expected, right? So, like, we have so many consolidated things that, like, just because the market's going up doesn't mean that the market didn't fear payroll numbers. It certainly did. In fact, the NASDAQ is still red from these numbers. Still, on the other side of that, the market's not like one-dimensional in that way, you know. So those economic reports are not the only thing that influence markets. Meta's ripping up, breaking highs right now because Meta dropped earnings yesterday. Nvidia's ripping up, breaking highs right now because tech dropped earnings yesterday. Again, Meta, Amazon, Apple all released earnings. Flying up. Meta's is the one that's dragging the whole market up right now specifically. But again, it doesn't mean the market didn't fear payroll numbers and the economy didn't fear jobs. It's just not one dimensional like that, you know. Yeah, this is a crazy run up though, team, to be honest. This is a crazy move. AMD breaking 177s. Tesla is just a dumpster fire right now, though. Amazon over 170s. Let's see if that holds. NVIDIA hit 650s just now, guys. 650s for NVIDIA. It fears it, but in the long term, not on a daily. Yeah, when in doubt, zoom out is the common phrase for it. And so if you watch markets too closely, you're going to see correlations that aren't there. You're going to see movement and you know, there's this old movie. I can't remember what it's called, but it's about a guy who starts trying to identify like an algorithm in the stock market, right? And he drives himself crazy trying to build and develop and think about this algorithm. I can't remember what the movie is, but yeah. Short-term price action is certainly random sometimes. According to Vanguard and the global head of Vanguard, the U.S. is at the risk of tipping into a recession the second half of 24. Guys, NVIDIA 650s right now, 650s. Yeah, I mean, we watch the runs because it's short-term market news. We cover all market and economics news. Tesla starting to bounce back a little bit now, up to 185s again. Let's see if we can start to get some steam here. But man, Meta, guys, Meta has had, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 green candles in a row. NVIDIA churning up to 152, just broke 152 lifetime highs again. Meta pushing up towards the previous lifetime high, just under 474s. pushing up for it. Let's see if it breaks up. Just broke it again, 473.96. Let's see if we can break 474s. NASDAQ trying to go green on the day. Nvidia just broke 653s. So crazy price action right now, guys. Honestly, genuinely crazy price action. A crazy Friday. Tesla about to go green since market open. AMD breaking over 178s right now. Tesla bouncing back. Meta just broke highs again, almost up to 475. Just broke 475, up to almost 476. Now, Nvidia previous lifetime high is now 653.49. Running out of breath trying to cover all these crazy moves. And then there's consumer sentiment data in about 13 minutes or so. 13 minutes. Nvidia don't care about words like overextended or expensive. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just Tesla back up to 186s now, though. Tesla trying to get over the 200 EMA. Finally, a little dip candle for Meta. This is a crazy squeeze. This reminds me of GameStop. What a crazy squeeze. Again, maybe bearish traders were overextended in short positions too, man. That's what happened with GameStop. Yeah, this is a crazy day, Keegan. 100%, dude. Weird day. Meta finally has a red candle. Its first red candle in 13 minutes. First red candle in 13 minutes. Weird, man. This is freaking chaos of a day, guys. Again, Nvidia new lifetime highs just topped again at 653.58. 653.58. Yeah, the Bears, big mad today, man. Upset. All I'll hear for the next week is that it's a scam market and everybody's wrong and we're due to have a imminent market dump and crash and, you know, bears are dumb. I can't believe people are buying up at these highs, they'll say. Again, I see it all the time. I've seen it. I live stream every day. That's what we see. Yeah, $400 stock, 20% green day. Finally getting a dip here, though. Is it time to buy the dip? I don't know, bro. I don't know. Amazon under the 200 EMA and the volume weighted average price as well. Nvidia dipping down to 650 now, too. Is it time to buy the dip? You know what? We'll have some fun and buy it. Let's see if I get punished for this. All right, we got 20 shares of Meta. I feel like I'm at the casino right now. Give it to me. We're going to take half off of this just to protect us. We got to take a little bit larger size, have some fun, I think, today. There's 30 shares of Meta. We'll take 50. Alright, 50 shares of Meta. We're just scalping here, playing around with it though, guys, just to put it into perspective. Like, if we lose, I'm okay with that. It's a historic day. Alright, got out half. Oh, I got a bad fill. How dare you. Alright, we're gonna add back to it. What a day, guys, what a day. Chaotic, but fun. All right, so we took half off there. We got 25 shares left. You got to watch Nvidia to a certain extent, but Meta's the big one. All right, so we just made about 40 bucks playing around on Meta. We'll see what the rest of the day gives us, man. Tesla's starting to come all the way back down, though. Yeah, that's not a small trade. I probably could have held on to it a little bit longer. I made 40 bucks, but just to put this into perspective, if you guys want to know what kind of equity this account has, I always tell people like I'm sponsored by a funded account program, but I don't necessarily need to get funded. You know, like I'm already, $250,000 in buying power on this account. That trade I just took was about $24,000. It wasn't that big, actually. Not as big as it could have been. SoFi at 760s. Yeah, might have been gambling a little bit with that one. That's exactly what you'll hear from the Bears, bro. We hear it every time, dude. Like again, people wonder why like I'm a broken record criticizing people who predict crashes like that. And it's fine to predict. The ones I go hard on are the ones that are so critical of longs, right? The ones that I go hard on are the ones that get really, because again, like the more emotional they are, the more critical I am. Like you could be bearish without making fun of longs. You could be bearish without being disrespectful, and so the ones that you see that are just super emotional, super disrespectful to the other side, it just means they're emotional about their own positions. A lot of the time what happened, again, market ripped up 24% last year, and they're missing out on these gains, right? So like they missed out on all those gains being bearish, and so they're kind of big mad at all the bears because of it, or they're big mad at all the bulls because, Hey, nice, William. Yeah, I'll make my little 40 bucks. It's been a while since I day traded stocks. Facts, are trying to induce emotion because they're struggling. Yeah, I mean, that's human nature. Misery loves company is the common saying. I think people who are successful like want to share that with other people, like not because they're trying to brag, but because they're happy. Happy people want to share their happiness with others. Sad people want to share their sadness with others, right? It's human nature. Meta, guys, dude, I should have held, bro. I should have held. Look at this rip. 474.50s right now, guys. 474.50s. Craziness. I can't even lie. I got a little bit of FOMO right now. A little bit of FOMO because this is nuts, dude. I'm not sure NS about whether they accept Canadians or not. Reach out to them and ask. Yeah. Nvidia up to 652s right now, 652s. Meta just broke highs again, right around 476. All right, guys, remember, we do have Michigan inflation expectations going live very soon. Michigan inflation expectations going live very soon. We're going to be redirecting to Beach Bum's channel today. Let me find it. All right, let me find it. So we're going to cover the Michigan... So yeah, we're gonna be helping one of the old, Beach Bum trading, great swing trading content. He's got a video titled "Is AU a good stock to buy now?" So we're gonna redirect everybody to Beach Bum's channel after this. And so if you haven't already checked him out, again, we'll put his video up here. And yeah, it starts at 9 a.m. So we're going to cover this economic data, and then we're just going to pivot on over to him. But man, what a crazy day. Meta up there. Nvidia breaking highs. New Nvidia high is 653.92. See if we can break 654 data. crazy high, man. What a weird day. Y'all have a great and happy weekend, guys. Remember, Powell is supposed to speak at 60 minutes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to cover it. I think it's fair use, but I've never gotten a copyright strike, and I don't want to risk that. I guess I could and just not monetize the stream. But again, I don't know. NVIDIA just broke highs again at 654.20s here, team. We got 2 minutes here, team. 2 minutes. Powell does not speak today. Powell spoke Wednesday. Powell is set to speak on Sunday, February 4th on 60 Minutes. All right, guys, we got 1 minute here, 1 minute. We'll see how this data affects the market here again, guys. This is Michigan consumer sentiment data, relevant data for sure. It's expected at 78.8. We also have inflation expectations. So 78.8 is what Michigan consumer sentiment for January is expected at. We'll see how this moves markets, guys. We'll see how it moves markets. Again, Amazon bouncing up a little bit. 45 seconds here, team. 45 seconds. And so, again, if you haven't already subscribed, we'll be back next week, of course. Yeah, let me make sure this is going to redirect to you, Beach. Yep, it is. So you're good to go. All right, guys, 30 seconds. And again, as soon as we cover this data, we're going to watch the market response for maybe 30 seconds. And then we're just going to close the stream down. You guys have a safe and happy weekend. Don't go anywhere. As soon as we close the stream, it should immediately bring you to Beach Bum. And he's got a good video on gold, on a gold stock, and that potential, action here. So, again, 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Let's see what this data shows up as today. All right. And here's the report. All right, guys, consumer sentiment came in at 79, slightly higher than expected. Consumer expectations came in slightly higher than expected. Waiting for the inflation expectation. We also had core durable goods and factory orders come in. I don't see the inflation expectations. Let me check one more thing. Yeah, I don't see the inflation expectations yet. But again, market's not really, this is kind of a nothing move here, guys. So again, y'all be safe. Remember, again, as soon as we close this stream, we're going to bring you to Beach Bum's channel. When you get there, subscribe. And Beach Bum, I would put it in sub-only mode, so that way you gain some subs, brother. Here. All right, guys. Again, don't go anywhere. We're going to be pivoting to Beach Bum Trading's channel. He's got a video right now. If it doesn't bring you there for whatever reason, we're not going to be there, but if it doesn't bring you there for whatever reason, go to this link right there. And again, I'll see you guys over there. Good luck. Y'all be safe. Have a great day, guys. Have a great day.